Disclaimer. This video's information is being provided for informational, educational, and general interest purposes only. The information in this video is not intended to shock, enrage, or otherwise provoke the viewer. The sole purpose of this video was to raise awareness of true crime-related events. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Ran back to downtown, trying to find the first officer to show them where he was, because I saw the people standing in front of the truck. So I told my wife and my daughter to just act normal and keep walking. I said, I'm going to turn around and walk the other way. And she's like, why? And I just told her that I see the truck right there and the people are standing right next to it. So because they were trying to hide the front of it, it was all smashed up and I could see it.
Okay.
But everybody was walking by. Like, they didn't see anything. I was surprised that nobody else was like, there's a truck or something, you know?
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's start from the beginning. First off, your name is Abel.
Yeah.
A-B-E-L.
Yep.
Middle initial.
M.
And date of birth?
9/28/77.
9/28/77. Sorry, I just spaced on your last.
Yeah, L-A-Z.
L-A-Z.
C-A-N-O.
C-A-M-O.
N-O.
N-O?
Yeah, A-N-O.
Okay. And you said you were with your family?
Yeah, my wife and my daughter.
Okay. What's your wife's name?
Sarah, with an H. Same last name.
You know her middle initial?
Yeah, and Nicole.
And her birthday?
July 7/3/79.
And how old's your daughter?
She's 8.
8? Okay,
Yeah.
What's your daughter's name?
Kiara, K-Y-A-R-A. Same last name.
Her middle initial?
L.
And date of birth?
June 8th, 2013.
Okay. Were you guys at the parade?
Yeah.
Did you see what happened at the
Yeah.
parade? Okay. Where were you guys standing?
We were standing in front of, like, what street is that? Maple that runs right into downtown?
I can pull up a map if that'll help you.
It's Maple and Main Street. We were right on Main Street and Maple, like half a block in, right in front of between Mainstream and the Donnie Boys.
Okay. So you were down by, yeah, that would be
like
Maple.
Parking lot. Yeah, that's
the
it.
Donnie Boys is right there.
Yeah, we were between Donnie Boys and Mainstream. There's a parking lot right in the middle of it.
Like this one up here? Or this one down here?
Where's Maple? This is
Maple's
Main Street?
This is Maple and that's Main.
Yeah, we were right
Donnie Boys is like right here.
This is the parking lot, so we were standing right here.
Okay.
In front of that building, because we took like 10 steps this way, and I told her to hide behind the building.
Okay.
And I grabbed my daughter, and I gave her to my wife, and I told her to go hide there. So I didn't know if there was more cars coming or what, but I wanted to help some more people get out of the way, because there was kids in front of us still.
Okay, so you're on the south side of Main, just east of Maple?
Yeah. Man, it's kind of hitting everybody on purpose, it seemed like.
Okay. And do you remember what part of the parade? Well, I guess just walk me through like what you saw.
I was looking up because I was standing and my wife was here and my daughter was standing here and I was standing right on the curb and I was standing behind them. And then I looked over here and I was like, whoa, because I started seeing the truck coming and it was pushing people out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't realize how fast it was going.
Okay.
I just saw it hitting people, but I didn't not until it got close that I realized that it was doing it on purpose and people were starting to fly off the hood.
So was it coming from the area
downtown? It was coming from on Main Street, but it was coming from up, going towards where we were coming from. So I'm standing, I'm right here. It's coming up this way going down towards Wisconsin.
Okay.
All Main Street towards Wisconsin.
So it would have drove.
Yeah, coming down
that
this way. Yeah,
okay.
That's where it was coming from.
And what did the car look like?
It was a red SUV. I knew it was a Ford Escape.
Okay.
I thought it was like a Mercury or something, but it ended up being a Ford Escape. Just when I saw it, I knew it, and I ran back and told the officer that I saw the truck. It's a red Ford Escape.
Did you see it actually hit anyone, or what was it doing when it passed you?
Yeah, it was hitting people.
Okay.
There was people flying off the hood. The little poor girl.
Was it a group, the group of children that
was
was in
a
front
bunch
of
of
you?
kids that were in front of us. They were in the actual parade. I hit like 6 or 7 people just in front of us. Can't imagine the rest of the parade.
Oh, I'm sorry you had to see that. Are you doing all right with seeing that? I mean, I wouldn't want to see that. Yeah.
You got kids, you don't want to see that shit.
Yeah, how's your daughter? Is she doing all right with
we
it?
just told her she had a medical. I grabbed her right away and I grabbed her eyes. I didn't want her to see all the people laying out on the road.
Good.
Yeah, she's okay. She just keeps asking other questions. But.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Oh, yeah.
So, after it passed you, what happened next?
Shit.
Or could you see who was in the car?
No.
Or how many people?
No. It looked like there was 3 or 4 of them in there.
Okay.
I could tell they were black, but that's the only thing that I could tell. It's not until I actually walked past the house where it parked that then you could see them hiding the front of they were all standing, leaning against it like they were hiding the front of it, so everybody else walking by.
But you could
see it.
When the car drove past you, you were able to see that there was multiple people in that car?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything stand out about the driver or any of the passengers?
No, man. Once you see those kids flying off that hood,
I completely understand.
You're worried about the people. I saw it. I was just hoping it wasn't going to turn back around again. Telling everybody to get the hell out of the way, get out of the street.
So then after it passed you, did it just keep going and you lost sight of it?
It kept going. It kept going on down Wisconsin.
So it took the curve.
Wisconsin.
So it took the curve.
It went all the way down and it got out of everybody. And then you just see people scattering everywhere.
Did you see where it went from Wisconsin?
No.
Okay.
No. We went back up Maple because that's the street we walked down, like 5 or 6 blocks up Maple, back to the car. And that's when I saw it on the way back. To the car was when I saw the truck.
Okay.
And then I saw those people, but it was so banged up that they couldn't hide it.
Okay. So you were walking back to your car, and that's when you saw the car, the same car that you saw drive down Main Street.
Yeah.
Okay. Describe to me what you saw there.
There was like 3 or 4 people standing in front of the vehicle.
Okay.
It was parked like the front of the bumper and everything, like they reversed it. Like they backed up into the driveway.
Okay.
So you could see all the front end.
So they reversed into the driveway?
Yeah. Like they were ready to take off again, but I think they saw so many people panic, they didn't realize that it was too many people, so they couldn't leave.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Get caught.
Do you remember where that house was?
Yeah. It's on the corner of what street is that? Maple, and then it's street right along. It's Maple and
If I pull up a map of that.
Yeah. That street, I almost got an apartment there one time.
This is Maple, that's Park, Prospect, Dunbar's down here.
Okay. We're Arlington right here. This is Central Middle School, right? That's Central Middle School.
Yep.
So the house was right where this apartment's right here.
Okay.
It was about like right here. It's like a 4-family home type of thing.
Okay.
So it's got to be Arlington and Maple kind of on there's another road that cuts right up there.
Yeah, you can take the
there's another road that
if you want
comes
to
right
if you want
here.
to switch it off with satellite view to make it easier for you too. Come on. There. If that helps you.
Yeah, it's Arlington, Maple, Prospect. That's it. So it was over here. It was between Maple and Prospect.
Okay.
Prospect, because it was before, right across from Central Middle School.
Okay.
It had to be right there in one of those houses. Yeah, it was right between those two right there.
And you said it was like a four-family home?
Yeah, it was like a duplex, like upstairs and downstairs. Because one lady was looking out the window on top that had nothing to do with all, and there was like 3 or 4 kids that were standing on the porch still.
Okay.
Because when I went back with the police officers, they were.
So you showed them where?
Yeah, I
it was?
ran back downtown and I found the police officer. He almost went past me, but I waved him down. He rolled his window down, and I told him, I know where the vehicle is. I just saw them. These guys are still standing there. I said, you need to call some people, though.
Yeah.
Some more cops, because there's like 3 or 4 of them.
Okay. So were you able to recognize any of the individuals outside of the car that you saw maybe driving?
No.
Okay.
No. Like if I see him now, the only one that I'll recognize is the taller one that was wearing, and only because he was wearing blue and he was the bigger one, that's why he stood out to me.
Like bigger, like stocky?
No, just tall. Just tall. He wasn't big. Like, yeah, he wasn't big. He was taller than the other 2 guys. The other 2 guys were short.
Okay. And they were all African American?
Yes, all 3. There was 3 of them there for sure. 3 or 4, but I know there was 3 for sure. I feel like that people in that house knew them or something. I don't know why I feel like they.
And was it like a blue sweatshirt, jacket?
It was like a jacket like this one,
okay.
The top one that had a collar, but he had it folded down and it looked like they had blue on it. I think it was blue. The top was blue and he had black pants. I think it was black pants or blue jeans. Black pants or blue jeans. He might have had blue jeans on.
Okay.
But it was a blue top for sure.
Okay. And if I ask you anything that you don't know or you're not certain, just let me know.
Okay.
Obviously, a lot of things were going on, and we're trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad if you don't.
Yeah. The other remember. 2 shorter guys. I know one of them had shorter hair. The other 2 guys, but I don't know exactly what they were wearing. Just the taller guy is the only one because when I walked back again, I looked right at him.
Okay. These shorter guys, how short?
They were young. They were young too. Probably like in their 20s at the most, maybe 24, 25. They were young. The other guy, the taller one, he looked older.
Okay.
Yeah, he looked older. Maybe 30. Maybe 30, 35 even. He looked older.
Okay. And so they were all standing in front of the vehicle?
Yeah.
Were they trying to conceal it, or?
Yeah, you can tell they were like standing right in front of it. They were just standing there. They weren't talking, or they were just like looking out. And that's what stood out to me. So I looked and I looked again, and that's when I told my wife. I gave her my key and I told her to keep walking. I said, don't make it obvious. I see the people right now. They're in front of the truck. Don't look. I told her grab Kiara and go straight to the car and go home.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Just keep walking.
Okay.
And I turned around. She said okay, and I turned around and I walked. And as soon as I got to where I thought they couldn't see me anymore, I started running. So I want to hurry up before they took off.
Yeah. Did you see them when you last saw them? Were they still by the car, or did they run, or they were still there?
No, they were still standing there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they might have saw me running though. But
okay. Were any of them armed? Did they
didn't look
any weapons or anything like that?
No, they looked nervous though. They had their hands in their pockets, and they were standing in front of the car. All 3 of them lined up like they were. You can tell they were hiding it because now that I think about it, they were lined up right next to each other. They weren't like, one wasn't with his back toward the other one like they were talking. They weren't chilling out or anything. They were there because they had no choice. They were hiding it.
Okay. So they weren't talking to each other or anything like that? What about the people on the balcony? Were they trying to talk to them at all?
It looked like the guys that were on the porch, it was some young kids, some shorter guys. They were young, probably 19, 20. They looked like they were talking to them. I thought they were having like a party or something.
Yeah.
Because even there was like even 2 girls standing out there with them.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked like they were saying something to them, and I think that those guys didn't know what to say with the car, and then these guys probably were like, "What's going on? Why are you parking there? Who are you?" or something. They probably got nervous and took off.
Okay.
Because we went back. I took the police officer back. Did they get the guy?
I don't know. I was at home and I got the call. I work in a different task force in Milwaukee, so I really only get called in if I'm absolutely needed. And obviously a big event like this, they're needed. So I have very little information other than basically what you've told me and the very little that I've seen on the news.
Yeah,
before I came here.
20 people, 30 people probably. Everybody. It was like he was hitting them on purpose because he was swerving. He wasn't even like trying to dodge anybody. It was like he was going to the people wherever they were.
So they were swerving towards the people?
Yeah, they were like swerving on purpose. It was like the dude was doing it on purpose.
Okay. Well, I think that's all I have for you now. I'm sure other detectives are going to have questions for you in the future.
Yeah.
I have your phone number because I called you. Do you think that you would, if we're able to identify these guys, do you think you'd be able to recognize them?
If they're together, yeah. I think so. If it's soon, hopefully. If they're still wearing the same clothes.
Okay.
I don't want to sound racist, man, but they all look the same.
Yeah.
I mean, they all look the same. There's no, I can't tell if they have tattoos or not. Like, if somebody sees me, they're gonna be like, oh, he had prints on his, or neck tattoos, but they look all the same. So by now, who knows? He could have shaved his head or something.
Yeah. And I mean, you had the stress of your family there, and
yeah, I didn't want my wife, and that's what I told him. Yeah, I told him, just don't look over there. Just keep walking. And I don't want them to make a big scene or think I was gonna go and tell somebody.
Okay. Well, let me see. I do have some old business cards on here. This phone number isn't correct, so I'll write my cell phone number on the back for you.
Okay.
I don't have that desk number anymore. If you remember anything else, give me a call and let me know. Otherwise, I think that's all I have for you right now.
Okay, sir. So, my name is Darrell. I'm a detective with the Sheriff's Department. Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you I'm sorry for everything that's been going on here tonight. So I'm going to get your information first, and we'll go into what family member, who you're looking for, okay?
Sure.
So what's your name, sir?
Bert Austin, B-E-R, and then Austin is in Austin, Texas.
Okay. And what's your middle initial, sir?
P.
Date of birth?
2/1/95.
And a good cell phone for you now?
262.
Yep.
422-4152.
And a current address?
2010 Southeast Avenue, apartment 11.
All right. So, what family member are you looking for?
My wife's little sister.
Your wife's sister?
Yeah.
Okay, what's her name?
Sasha Catalan.
S-A-S-H-A?
Yeah.
And how do you spell the last name?
C-A-T-A-L-A-N.
And do you know Sasha's date of birth or roughly how old she is?
June of 2004.
Okay. Do you know where she is? I mean, has anyone told you yet, or are you still looking for her?
She went to the patient room with her mother, and that's all we've heard.
So you know she's here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
all right.
Me, her father, and then her aunt and uncle were in there.
Okay.
They told us to come up here.
All right. Perfect. Okay. So I guess obviously there's been so much. I'm at home. We get the call. I mean, I want to hear firsthand what you saw, what was going on. So you guys were you at the parade yourself?
Yeah. So me, my wife, and my son were at the parade, and all of a sudden I saw looked like a 2011-2012 red Ford Escape, just kind of barreled through, pretty much right in front of me where my kid was, and I grabbed him at first. I was looking at him. I didn't see that it went all the way down, and I'm hearing later that it hit people and there were people shooting. I did hear a singular gunfire. As soon as I heard it, I scooped up my wife and my son. Didn't even grab our stuff, and we just ran back to the car. I wanted to make sure that they were safe first.
Okay. So I guess let me ask you, what's your wife's name?
Mary.
And is she over in the cafeteria over there?
No.
She's with your sister-in-law?
She's with my son.
Oh, with your son?
They're at home.
They're at home.
Yep.
And what's your son?
Derek.
How old?
D-E-R-E-K. He's 4.
Yeah, okay. All right. And you said it was a 2011, 2012?
Yeah, 2011, 2012. Red Ford Escape.
All right. So where were you guys watching the parade?
We were on the curb. We were right in front of where the condominium apartments are. We were right in front of where like the balconies are, where people can come out and watch. We were about half a block down from I think it's Main Street and East Avenue.
Okay.
Where that intersection is, where it goes into Frank Park. We're about a half block away from there. We were sitting right on the edge. I believe that's where he came from and where he barreled in.
All right. So just so I'm aware, I'm going to go ahead and pull up a map here, okay?
Sure.
That way we know exactly where we're talking.
Right.
You said it's Main and East. So obviously that's Main and Barstow right there.
Yeah, so...
You're further down a little bit.
Yep, so
right?
we're actually... Is that Barstone? Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, so these clock tower apartments, we're right... Yeah, so we're on Main, and pretty much right where this bus stop symbol is where we were.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Screenshot of that. And was just you, your wife, and your son in that area?
Yeah.
Okay.
That we knew. There were other people around us, too.
Okay. And what direction did you see the car coming on Main Street?
From towards, like, Jimmy's Grotto.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe it came from this way, because I did see it. I looked over just in time to kind of see it turn this way.
Okay, so it turned from...
Yeah.
So it turned in off of there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe I saw it turn that way. It was too quick for me to accurately judge, but...
Did you hear it rev? Did you hear the engine rev?
all I heard was them honking the horn, and I saw how fast it was going.
So they were honking the horn?
They were honking the horn.
Did it have tinted windows? Did it have clear windows?
Back windows were tinted.
Did you see, so they actually passed you, that would have been the passenger side, right?
Yep.
Did you see anybody inside the vehicle? Could you tell if there were multiple people, one person?
There were at least two people.
So there was a driver and a front passenger?
There was a driver and a front passenger. I couldn't tell from the back because the back windows were tinted and they were closed.
Were you able to tell anything about the passenger or the driver at all?
I didn't see anything.
Okay.
I've been on social media. I did see it was looked to be a slim, slender, white male, probably about mid-20s, 30s.
Okay.
A little bit of facial hair, glasses on. It was a blurry picture of him. They posted it on social media already.
All right, but you didn't see it when you
No,
drove by?
not personally, no.
Okay. Can you just give me 1 second to talk to
Sure.
your partner real quick?
No,
No, so you want to come over here? I mean, you can do them anywhere. Just grab some anybody can sit in there. All right, I'm sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
So then, so they kind of come past you pretty quick from turning, right?
Yeah.
All right. What do you see? I mean, are they intentionally like driving? Are they on the street? Are they on the sidewalk?
They're on the street. They're almost on the curb of the sidewalk. I mean, where candy was being thrown is where they ran over.
Did you see anybody be struck by the vehicle?
Not personally, no.
When did you hear the gunshot?
About half a minute after I saw the car pass. It was faint, and I only heard one. But as soon as I knew what it was right away, and I grabbed my wife and my kid, and I just ran. And that's when a crowd of people were starting to run too, because I saw them starting to come towards us, and I heard the faint one, and then started to run myself.
And then after you left, what did you end up doing? I mean, did you guys go home?
I put my wife and kid in the car and went to go see if Sasha was okay, because I knew she was in the van. And that's when I found out that she got nicked by the car. She didn't necessarily get full on hit, but some of her friends did.
And who told you that? Or was it her friends told? How'd you find out?
I went and I ran down and I saw her.
Okay, so you saw her.
Yep, I saw her.
You talked to her?
Yeah. I saw her and I asked her, did you get hit? And she said, barely. She got essentially barely nicked by the car, and she actually got spun around. So either by a window or just barely good side swerve.
So, obviously, where do you think you end up finding her?
I find her pretty much right around here.
So pretty much Main and Barstow right there?
Yeah.
And then, did you ever like see the vehicle after that? I mean, or once it passed you, you never saw it again?
Once it passed me, I never saw it. I was already I was getting my wife and the kid in the car and making sure they were safe first, and then went back to get her.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you think that you know of?
That's pretty much what happened in my eyes.
Okay. All right. You weren't recording it or anything like that, were you? Okay. Was your wife recording it that you know of? No. So had Sasha already passed you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's probably 50 to 80 yards down.
Okay.
From us.
All right. Okay. Well then, and you said you have more family in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you get back to your family now, Bert. I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, so my name is David Schrader. I'm a detective with Waukeska County Sheriff. Obviously, we're investigating what happened, and you're fine. Obviously, we're here investigating what happened up at the parade. So we'll just go and can I just get your name first? Your first name?
My name is Charlotte.
Charole.
Charlo.
Oh, I'm way off. I am way off here. Hold on.
Charlotte.
Your initial?
P. And Laux. Laux.
All right, your date of birth.
5/16/1966.
And a cell phone number for you.
262-424-4924.
Okay, and then ma'am, your name?
Elsie, Elsie, middle initial J, Touchstone, Touchstone.
Date of birth?
10/10/2003.
2003. And your cell phone number for you?
262-271-4116.
4116?
Correct.
Okay. So, just very briefly, you said you were a witness to it. You were in the parade?
I was in the Waukeska South Marching Band.
Okay, so you're in the Waukeska South Marching Band.
I was in the parade.
You were in the parade as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what part were you in?
I was in the dance track team. We were down, I don't know the name of the apartment building, but it's the brown one. The one by Veterans Park.
Okay.
Okay, the big new tall one.
Okay, by Veterans
Against
Park.
the river.
Okay.
Do you remember what that?
We were right there.
Okay. Yeah, so we were. Oh, is that where we were huddled?
Yeah, that's where I put the girls.
Is there?
Okay.
What's the address there?
So that is the tattoo parlor that's right there. What is
Okay.
the tattoo parlor? What is the name of that tattoo parlor?
Waukeska Tattoo Company.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where the three of us were in the parade, in the dance.
Okay.
Okay.
And
I was second one in, and she was to my right.
okay.
I heard, what do you want to know?
Keep going.
Okay.
You're good.
So I heard, oh no, oh no, oh no, and I thought it was because right at that time we had big wind come up,
Okay.
and I'm like thinking, but then I heard, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and I turned around to see what the heck is going on, and all of a sudden I'm hearing and watching this car come blaring past, and his window was down.
Okay.
It was a man.
Driver's side window?
The driver's side window was down. There was damage to the front left bumper headlight area.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember if he had a hat
Do you
on.
remember what kind of car it was?
It was red SUV.
Okay.
Not a minivan. It was an SUV.
Okay.
The gentleman kind of was up, kind of closer to the steering wheel, but I don't know if
Do you know race of this individual?
It was a, not white.
Okay.
It was definitely darker. I don't know if he had like a hat on, or if it was, it almost seemed like he had like a cream hat on or something. I don't know, but it was definitely like a thicker hair.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, and you say not white.
Correct. So not Hispanic.
Okay.
Probably black, because it seemed like, okay, let me just think.
12 miles per hour. Once I realized he was out of shot, I just turned and started doing first aid.
Leaning forward, kind of looking like that.
Speed had been ran over, so we're stabilizing him, so getting him warm. Yeah,
Definitely black.
sure
Okay. And
people were in the buildings, and then
yeah, but not a clean look, you know, not very muddled. I don't know how to describe that.
Okay.
Not
Maybe
sharp
like facial
features.
hair or anything that you saw?
Maybe that's kind of what I saw.
Okay.
Was a scruffy. It definitely was not a clean looking face. Okay, not like, you know, like a well put together person.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was not that.
Okay.
Definitely not that.
Okay. And how fast do you think he's coming through?
Oh my gosh. I'm not sure how to tell you. I can say it was going this fast.
Okay.
Like whatever that is.
Okay.
You know, it being what from me to the wall. That's how far away he was.
Okay. And it went by quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like.
Did you see anybody else in the vehicle?
I did not see past the driver.
Okay. How about you? Did you see the vehicle from where you were?
I saw the vehicle. I have no idea who was in it. It was more like, kind of like a red blur of it. And I saw people getting hit and stuff like that, but
Okay.
I didn't see anything.
And you weren't hit yourself?
I was not hit.
Was anybody here hit?
No.
Okay.
You were super close, and you pulled a
girl out of the way.
Okay. Thank you for doing that. So, who lives here?
She lives here.
You live
but
here?
Right after that, I heard the gunshot.
Okay.
And then, after it passed us, I heard the gunshot. And then, we were right at the tattoo parlor, and someone was coming from in front of me. So I thought that was a car right there. And then we took the girls over, and we pulled the dancers off and sheltered them.
Okay. Did anybody else hear the gunshots?
I did.
You did? Okay. Can I just get your name quick?
Shanda,
C-H.
C-H-A-N-D-A.
Middle initial?
M.
Last name?
Han, H-A-H-N.
Date of birth?
12/20/79.
And a cell phone number for you?
708-334-2816.
Okay.
Our band director was actually walking backwards at that time and saw it come through.
Okay. Are they here?
No.
But I can get you their information if we need to.
Yeah, could I get their information and a phone number? And then just separately here, how many gunshots did you hear?
I only heard 2.
2? Okay. How about you? 2?
Oh, it might have been pop.
Yeah, I didn't identify it as
Did you
that
hear any gunshots?
when
I heard
but
people
everyone,
talking about,
Okay.
oh my gosh, there's gunshots, but I personally did not.
I
Okay.
couldn't tell. It might have been two with an X. I don't know. It was like that.
And then just with you living here, so we found a vehicle matching that description very close to here, just to the south. Obviously, the large presence of police here probably gave that away.
yes.
Do you know anything about the house? Do you know where they are with that vehicle? Like where the police are out with it?
Where? What do you mean? Like?
Do you know which house?
Yes,
where
I
the vehicle
know
is found?
it is.
Okay.
I know where the vehicle is.
Okay. Have you ever seen that vehicle there before?
There are so many vehicles over there.
Do you know anything about the people that live there?
Yeah, they're college students on the bottom, and a Hispanic family on the top.
Okay.
With a mom and a dad and a special needs son. His name is Israel.
Okay.
And and they have an older brother, like Israel's older brother
Okay.
lives there, and then I think there's an uncle that lives upstairs, and then
Okay.
below there's a number of college students.
Okay. To your knowledge, does anybody that lived there match the description that you saw tonight? No?
No.
Okay.
Uh-uh.
And I said there's a lot of cars over there, and you were
Yeah.
thinking about it, and I interrupted you. But do you know if you've ever seen that vehicle or a vehicle like that over there before?
I have not.
Okay.
Nothing is coming to my mind that, I mean, I don't recall ever seeing an, I think there's a red minivan, but I don't even know if there's a red minivan. Because I can't confidently say that I have seen a vehicle
And
like
that's
that
fine.
over there.
That's fine. Is there anything else relevant to our investigation that we didn't discuss that you think we should know?
I know she's got his contact information.
And that goes to you too. Is there anything that you didn't tell me about that you think would be relevant to what's going on?
Not that I can think of. I was mostly focused on getting my classmates out of the
I
way.
completely understand.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, I'm going to turn this off here.
This is Detective Mandy Schwartz, Detective Nate Plennis. We're here with, state your name please, sir.
Dominic Caproon.
Can you spell your name?
Domanic Caproon.
Okay. And what is your address?
417 Central Avenue.
Okay. Here in the city of Waukeska?
Yes.
And what's your telephone number?
262-227-1211.
Okay. And I know that before we started the recorded interview, you gave us a brief description of someone that had stopped up in your driveway and spoke to you. What was the conversation you had with that person?
The gentleman walked up to me in my driveway and asked me if he could use my phone for an Uber, and he seemed like he was out of breath. He wasn't wearing any tennis shoes or any shoes. He was wearing blue jeans and a red t-shirt. I did hand him my phone, and he did dial a number. He was a black male gentleman, and he had dreads that were tied up either in a rubber band or some kind of tie on top of his head.
Okay.
He was, I'd say, either 5'6", 120, 25 pounds. Younger male, like mid-20s.
Okay.
He had some tattoos on his arms. Couldn't make out what they were. But I did tell him that the next door neighbor was an Uber driver, and he then proceeded to run, took off towards West Avenue. And I didn't think nothing of it at the time. Just thought it was just another random person, and just thought I'd give you my statement.
Okay. So other than him asking to use your phone, did you have any other conversation with this gentleman?
Nope. That was it. I did turn, because he startled me, and he said he didn't have any weapons. I don't know if that has anything.
Okay.
But other than that, no.
And you said that your sons were outside with you?
Yes.
And what are your sons' names?
Donovan Caproon.
Okay.
And Brady Caproon.
Okay. Did he engage your sons at all?
No.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, well, we're not on the track. So. Oh, that's great. That's fine.
So it was Donovan and who?
Brady.
Brady. And there was no talk with any of them, no communication?
No, not with them.
Anything else that stood out? I mean, you gave a relatively good description of him, but anything that stood out to you? I know you said he was out of breath, no shoes.
Just that he seemed really frantic.
Okay.
That he really needed that Uber driver. And he really needed.
Let's give a second for the train to come through. probably be a long one on a Sunday night, right?
Yeah, probably. Most likely.
Maybe we can still hear each other here, but what direction did he come from, if you remember?
My oldest son said that, because I had my back turned to him, he said that he came from the downtown area or from the east side of Central, like more like Maple, heading west towards that way.
Okay.
Towards my house.
Okay. And then when you said that he had left, and you told him that your neighbor was in Uber, did he go to the neighbor's house?
I don't know if he really understood me, what I was trying to tell him.
Okay.
But he did take off running on, towards West Avenue on foot.
Okay. Okay.
At that time.
And I know that he took a picture of your phone log, but do you remember about what time that was tonight?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock?
Yeah,
okay.
around there.
Okay. Anything else that you can think of that stands out, or?
Not really. Like I said, it was, I guess I really wasn't looking for anything.
Yeah,
so, I mean, what I did notice, and then, I mean, that's all I got.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this. I appreciate you talking to us.
We're marching in the parade. Okay. And also, we were bystanders right in front of all the chocolate.
And just to confirm your address, it's 346 Maple Road here?
Correct.
Okay.
Maple Avenue.
Maple Ave. And what's your name, sir? I'm sorry.
Richard Laux, L-A-U-X.
Hey, you can't come here, don't even try. Just stay there, it's gonna be a while yet.
P, as in Paul.
Date of birth?
1/15/1969.
Yeah, I had to go out for you.
262-853-7425, and that's a cell.
Okay. So you said you were at the parade, right?
Yes.
Where were you guys standing or
We're
watching
standing
from?
right in front of Aloe Chocolate on the north side of Main Street. You can have a seat if you want.
Really?
By the chocolate store?
Yes.
I was witness and she was brought, you looked at the guy.
And then when did you first kind of see all these events that unfolded? What did you see?
So Waukeska South band was going past. I yelled at my son, "Hey David!" He was right near us, and then someone said my niece was ahead of him, and I looked that way and tried to see her, and then looked back and I saw out of the corner of my eye the SUV go by on the south side of the street, and it went past Avalon and hit that. It looked like it hit the planter that's like right on the corner, south. I guess that would be southeast corner of Gaspar and Main Street, and saw it deflect up and then continue down the road.
Okay. And how far away from you, how far away from the vehicle were you when it drove by you?
Probably about 35 feet, just right across the street.
And do you remember what kind of car that was?
A red SUV.
Do you know what type of SUV?
Well, it's been kind of published as a Ford Explorer Escape.
Okay. When it passed you, did you see how many people are in the vehicle?
Did not.
Okay.
And I couldn't see if the window was open or not. It was just so fast. On footage they're showing on the news right now, it does show. It looks like the passenger side window is open.
Okay. But you didn't see that personally?
Personally, I didn't. I just saw it go past.
You were on the south side of the street, right?
North
side. Okay, so the passenger side would have passed you?
Okay. And it was on it was driving down the south side of the road.
Okay, so it was like across.
Yes.
Okay. So in the opposite lane, it was traveling in the opposite lane of traffic.
Correct.
Ran away from you. Even though, okay.
Yeah.
And you couldn't see if there's a passenger or...
I couldn't.
Okay.
No
problem.
We do know people that were farther up the street that I can give you the names of. One of our guys, Noel from church, he says that he saw a passenger in the car when they went past him, and he was starting to chase the SUV on foot, but of course it was going too fast.
Okay. Once we're done with this, I'll get all that information, because that sounds like that's something that we're going to want to follow up on. Do you know, would you estimate about how fast it was going when it passed you?
Man, it looked like it was going 35 miles an hour, 30 to 35 maybe. And then it got hung up on that, I think on that planter, the big concrete thing. That's what I'm assuming it hit. And then from that point I couldn't, because I was more focused on the band members that were down, because they're my son's bandmates. So.
And again, I'm very sorry for what you and your family are going through right now. So I really do appreciate you sitting down and willing to talk to us about this right now, knowing of everything that's going on.
No, I get it. And I was able to go for it. It was really neat to see the response by the people around, though, because, I mean, I got out there as soon as I could to try to help. I'm trained in first aid, CPR, but there were already 3 or 4 people at every one of the kids that was down. So it was really cool to see.
So obviously, we found a car matching the description down the street from you. Have you ever seen that car before?
No, I can't say that I have.
Do you know who lives at that house?
I do know the landlord.
Okay.
I'm close with him. I can give you his information to call.
Yeah, what's his name?
His name is Carl Gratke, Gratke. Let me go get my phone over here. It's charging. I'll get you his contact information.
You still have access to Spillman? There's another lady here that we'll have to talk to.
He lives in Pewaukee.
Nice. Do you have another one?
It's almost dead, but yeah, I got mine. I had to charge it.
Not I told her she's fine waiting. I mean, they know we're not going.
Let's go and knock it off. We got a lot to do. So.
How much better you got? Let's see. Oh, you got plenty.
Yeah, Charlotte. Elsie.
DJ, do you have an IR for this?
I don't have ours. I can maybe.
That's fine. Not worried about it.
Okay, so his mobile phone is 262-327-3956.
Does he live locally?
No, this is his address right here, 226 Meadow Side Cut, Pewaukee.
Alright, so
But other than knowing the property owner, you really don't affiliate with anyone that was in that?
No, they're all students at Carroll College. At least typically on the bottom there's I think 3 guys that live there, and then there's a family that lives above.
Okay.
That we kind of know some of the people that live there, but not a lot. They're new as of earlier this fall.
Okay.
Or summer, maybe late summer.
Did you see prior to like the police response? So let me back up. So after you saw the car driving on Main Street, what did you do? Did you come back here, or did you go to the hospital?
We did not. I saw my son, made sure he was okay. Went in to offer aid if I could. There were plenty of people there, and then the police presence started to say, "Get out," and I was kind of stuck in the middle because the band members were sheltering in the apartment that's just east of, on the north side of the street, just east of All Out Chocolate there.
Okay.
And then we were in All Out Chocolate for a little while and trying to comfort some people. We came into the space between those 2 buildings, the green space, and then we're there for a little while, and then finally decided to walk back here.
Okay.
And just went to Gasper, and then all the way, then down to South Street, and then over to Clinton and home through the library.
Okay. So when you got home here, what did you see? Was there a lot of police activity?
Yes.
There? Okay.
There's a lot of police activity up and down the street. The guys questioned us right here. We just said we're going to this house. This is where we live, and that's the extent of. And I talked to the guy out here a couple times, Carl said that the guys in the downstairs keep that downstairs door open in the house over here, and he was concerned that maybe someone got into the basement and was hiding. I also said that our cellar door back here is unsecured, except for the door inside the house, and that's secured with a bar across it. So that would be a hiding spot as well. But that's the extent of really, other than some light talking every once in a while, that's the extent of the police contact we've had.
Okay. So you got here kind of after the fact, so you didn't see anyone like near the vehicle or running from the vehicle or anything?
No. When we got here, we didn't even know. I figured it was down the road here, but I didn't know that it was right here until we saw a clip on the news showing the guys in the driveway, and I know we recognized the house and the garage was behind
Then I heard, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I turned around to see what the heck is going on, and all of a sudden I'm here watching this car come blaring past, and his window was down.
I think that's all the questions I have for you. Is there anything else that you can think that might be important for me to know?
No, it just all happened so fast, and you know, it's just a really unfortunate deal.
Okay, well, like I said, I really do appreciate you sitting down and talking to me with everything going on.
It was red.
You know, house full of people. It definitely helps.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, anytime. James here.
Let me just get your name real quick, James, just in case they need it.
Sure. It's James, Jaymz.
That's a new one?
Yep.
Last name?
Touchstone, Touchstone.
Middle initial?
R.
And date birth?
April 22nd, 1968.
Good phone number for you, James?
262-993-4050.
And I know you were present for most of my conversation with Richard. Is there anything else that you saw that maybe he didn't?
I don't know. As soon as he veered, I was running to try to get an angle. I'm a concealed carry guy, and not that he was accelerating away from me. So 35 plus miles per hour. Once I realized he was out of shot, I just turned and started doing a first aid for the first kid I saw. Both of his feet had been ran over, so we were stabilizing him, so getting him warm, and then just making sure once the police came that the people were in the buildings, and then I stayed out there with the kid until the paramedics arrived, and then I just started finding lonely people and escorting them to safety or the shelter spot or whatever. So.
Maybe that's kind of what I saw.
Well, I think that's all I have for you guys.
Yeah.
So, again, thank you.
Yeah.
Record the interview, do it a little more official because your information was pretty key, so.
Yes, sir. So, if you don't mind, just so I have it, again, your first name is
Samuel,
and your last name is
Watkins,
can you spell it?
Watkins.
Okay. And, your address here is?
The address of the school is 915 North Hartwell.
Okay. All right. And who do you work for?
I work as the maintenance guy and the janitor at Bridge Church.
Bridge Church, okay. And that's the school address that you're talking about?
No, sir. I work at Bridge Church, which is right over here on. Actually, I can tell you the address here in 10 seconds. It's on South Grand. The address is 1314 South Grand Avenue.
And is there a phone number over there?
The church's phone number is 262-542-4922.
Okay. All right. So, what I'd like to do is, I know you talked to Detective Hoppy on the phone. I'd like to just kind of get an overview of what you guys had talked about and maybe get a written statement from you, if that's okay. So, today you were at
the parade?
Yes, sir.
And tell me a little bit about what happened while you were there.
So we were located, I'm sorry if I don't know the names. As
Sure.
I said, we're still new in the area. It's
Okay.
I believe it's the historic church, the historic courthouse. It's a really big, pretty stone building. And we were facing the parade. Of course, it was moving from our right to left.
Okay.
We saw it going through. And I was standing there. I'd gotten close. I was standing, trying to stay warm. And there was some kids that had gone by, and I noticed a red SUV moving from right to left. He came through, I would say, doing about 40 miles an hour. It was an African-American gentleman. I could not tell if he had braids or dreads in his hair, but it looked like it was pulled up in the back. He was medium frame. He was bent over the steering wheel. And it looked like he had a beard, probably about my length, maybe a little bit less, 4 to 6 inches. So I saw him go by. And so I watched him go by. It was odd. I didn't know if maybe he had made a mistake and turned in, like panicking, because he was moving way too quick, a lot faster than the parade. And I have little girls, so it was panicking me, like, dude, you're driving way too fast. So I was watching. I turned and I watched him go down the hill. And I know there's the liquor store right down there where the stoplight is. I was like, maybe he'll turn right inside there. My wife was telling me, she goes, he's going too fast, he's going too fast. And I saw him right, left, right, and then he just plowed through people. At that point, I told my wife and kids to stay here, and I went running down there to see if there's anything I could do to help. I worked on an ambulance for about 2 years, year and a half, 2 years when I lived in West Virginia. So that's what I did.
And when you got down there, what did you do?
Not much. There was a bunch of people already helping, a lot of people, and I feel like that if you jump in and there's already 5 and 6 people there, you're just not going to do anything. There was an officer down there asked if there's anything I could do to help. He says, if you see anything, just, report it. He said they're doing the best they could, and I didn't want to get in their way because I know that sometimes your best intentions can impede people, so just kind of stood there, watched for a minute, realized there was not really anything I could do, so the next thing I need to do is just take my family home.
Okay. So going back to the driver, when he was coming down, so when you saw him, were you able to get a good, did you see him before he was coming down, or as he's passing you?
I saw him, okay, so they're right there at the courthouse, there's a driveway, and so we were standing right there to the, well, if the courthouse is to your back, right to the left of that little driveway area that pulls into it. And I was watching him come, and he came by. There was a group or a float, I can't remember which one, but I saw the SUV coming down the side, and I noticed it was moving fast. So I saw him moving from about this angle, which is about 2 o'clock, to going straight in front of me and then by as he went by.
So real quick, not to interrupt you, but so this is the courthouse, the old historic courthouse.
Yes, sir.
That's where you were at, right?
I was located right there in that grass.
Okay. And then you saw him coming down possibly, and he made that right turn?
I did not see this. I saw him. I picked up his vehicle roughly about where that blue dot is on the map.
So like right there?
Yes, sir. And I watched him go all the way down from there. And then I moved out towards the sidewalk and watched him go down the hill. But he was moving from right to left.
Okay. So when you locked in on him, because you saw the vehicle going fast, and you said it was, what kind of vehicle?
It was a red SUV.
Okay.
I'm not good with makes of vehicles, but it was a mid-size red SUV, a maroonish red.
And you feel like you're able to at least lock in on him and see exactly what he looked like?
I felt like I got a good look at him.
Was he doing anything when he was driving? Was he...
He had 2 hands on the steering wheel, and he was super just like focused, intense, from what I saw.
Okay. Did you notice anything else about the vehicle or anybody else in the car or anything?
It was maroon. It might have had a silver trim or a gray trim on the bottom, but I'm not 100% for sure on the vehicle itself. I do remember the maroon because I panned in on him and I was looking at him.
Okay. Anybody else in the vehicle that you can recall?
I cannot recall that.
Okay. And as he's going through, you're kind of just watching him go down the hill.
Yes, sir.
And you saw him actually strike.
Unfortunately, yes.
You did? Okay.
Yes, sir. When he went through the stoplight, he was swerving, and because from that angle you can turn, you can see all the way down to where the stoplight is. As it kicks up, there's I believe it's an elderly or assisted living right there on the corner, and I saw him turn, and that's when he went through, and you could see the crowd, and there was no room for a vehicle to go through, and you saw the vehicle pushing through.
Okay. do you feel intentional or
I felt he was moving at a rapid pace, and then once you got to the bottom of the hill, you heard acceleration.
So you heard acceleration going through. Okay.
Because it was a distinct sound. I mean, most SUVs have a bigger engine, so you can hear it. And I heard him going by. That's the main thing that cued me. And I heard it because it's a parade, and then you can hear an engine revving, and I watched it go by. And that's why I said I thought at first he was maybe panicking, like, oh my gosh, how did I turn onto this street? But as I said, once he got to the bottom, I was watching him weaving, and then I heard the punch and watched him go through.
Okay. Was there anybody else that you were there with? You said your wife, or
my wife and kids, but
okay.
They were kind of they were watching the floats and the parades. And somebody yelled, "A car went down there," and that's not like they even saw anything.
Okay. Is there anything else you can think of that kind of sticks out, or anything? I was talking with Detective Hoppy. He said you were pretty sure about the description on him.
I'm pretty positive. That's if I was like, I'm like 95% sure. Like, okay. I don't feel like you can ever be 100% sure, but I'm.
So starting at the top of the head, what do you remember about? You said you weren't sure if it was dreads or.
It looked like dreads or braids, but from a distance I couldn't tell. But it looked like they were pulled back.
Okay.
Pulled back, and so he was a mid-sized frame. But I could clearly see, like, from the side profile, because when you look at the side of the face, it's a little bit different. I could see the little bit of a beard right here on the bottom, so I could see that on the.
Like a goatee or.
It looked like it was a more like mine, a little bit more of a full beard from the side of it, because like goatees normally just on the bottom. I could see the beard here.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like I could say, oh, there was gray in it or not gray in it, but I could see it was a shape like a rounded beard. Mine's a little bit more of a point, but it had more of a rounded look on the bottom.
Glasses? No glasses?
I did not see glasses, no sir.
Okay. He's color skin, you thought it was African American,
yes,
and lighter skin, darker skin?
A little bit darker skin. Not like black, but he was a little bit darker.
Okay. Anything else about the face or about anything he was wearing or anything? Does that come to mind at all? Anything that he was...
It was darker. So, like, the way he was slumped over, I couldn't see as much. I could kind of see his shoulder. It looked like he was wearing something a little bit darker from what I could tell. But the way the light was coming in, I could see his profile. I could see his hands. That's what I saw. It was his head. That's what I was saying. Like, he wasn't a tall frame. He seemed like he was, but he could have been slumped forward because where the window came, it was catching him a couple inches below the shoulder. So I could see that profile looking in.
Okay. Anything else?
No, and you said that you were there with your friend Blake, right?
Yes, sir.
He was there. Where was Blake? Was he with you, or was he in the area?
He was in the general vicinity around me. As I said, I don't remember where exactly he was. He would have been to the left of me, and he's got a little one with him and his wife, so I don't really know where his whole attention was.
And we give his number to another detective, and I think that there are two detectives going over there too to try and talk to him today. You said that he said that there was a white male in the front passenger seat.
He said he saw that. I did not see that. I was focusing on the driver. I did law enforcement in the military, so that's just my natural instinct. I looked at it because if anything came up, I wanted to be able to identify the person driving the vehicle.
Okay. Would you mind filling out just a statement for us? Just basically that was just what we talked about.
I write like a lawyer or a doctor. I apologize. I've got
whatever, but I guarantee it's better than my writing, though. Okay. But I just want to get the fact that on today's date you were there. Do you remember about what time? Roughly, or if you don't remember, I'm just looking for things that you remember, that you can say.
I can't. It was around because it started at 4 o'clock. It was still light. The sun was still. It was setting. It was. I mean, because it starts getting dark here at like 5 o'clock.
Okay.
But it was. I would say 4:40ish.
Okay.
Somewhere. Because the parade had been going for a little bit. There was quite a few floats that had gone through. There was 2 sets of grannies, dancing grannies that had already gone by. So I know it was already past that parade because we were talking.
Okay, gotcha.
Grannies.
So I'm just looking like, hey, on today's date at about this time, you were at the parade with your family, and it's just exactly what you told me.
Yes, sir.
And description is going to be very key, I think, too, because you seem like you're very sure about your description.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to make sure that we capture that
Yes,
everything that you saw, because I think it's really important.
Yes, sir.
Okay? All right, so I'm going to give this to you right here.
Okay.
And have you start right there. And I've got plenty more. There's backside to that.
I'm just checking the date. I'm
Sure.
sorry. It's been a long day.
Oh, I get it. Don't worry.
And your day is unfortunately just starting.
Yeah, it's the 21st today, so.
How do you spell maroon?
M-A-R-O-O-N.
Spelling is not my strong suit.
That's what Google's for, right?
Voice to text has been the most amazing thing that has happened in my life.
see what you have here. So I have Samuel G. G. Watkins. I was at the parade in Waukeska on 11/21/2021 at around 4:20ish.
4:30ish.
4:30ish. Okay, I'll just review that. In the parade, while standing in front of the historic courthouse, I saw a red maroon mid-size SUV traveling down the road going with the flow of traffic on the far side of the lane. The vehicle was moving at a rapid pace, going faster than the people in the parade. He first appeared on my right and then looked at, let's see, right there.
Because I looked at the driver really.
The driver. Yeah, if you do me a favor, if you cross anything out, just you can do that and then put your initials or wherever. Yeah. Okay, perfect. He was a medium. Is it complexion?
Yes, sir.
African American male, medium frame. His hair was either braids or dreads pulled from back from the side. I could also see that he had a beard that was a few inches long. Both hands were on the wheel as he was slightly slouched forward and as he drove by. I watched him drive by. I was thinking that he had accidentally turned onto the street, but he was going way too fast. I watched as he approached the light at the bottom of the hill, and let's look right here. And
thought maybe
he would turn right. Okay, in the parking lot. At a liquor store, the street there, at the light, however, he swerved back and forth. As I watched, I heard the vehicle rev up. As I watched, as he accelerated into the crowd on the other side of the light, and I didn't see any brake lights as he drove by. Through the crowd, I started running towards the people to see if I could help. So just a crazy question, but so you see the car, you see him, you identify him as the driver, you think something's kind of strange, you continue to watch the car. At no time does the car stop. I mean, you're continuously watching this thing go through, so the person driving would be the person that hit these people down there. There's no switching of drivers or anything like that. Okay, so even if there was two people in a car, there was
no
not
way.
enough
It never
time
slowed down
because it just was going faster.
It stayed at the same pace till it got at the bottom, and you saw it like I couldn't tell if it was trying to dodge around people. I could see the car moving back and forth in the looked like the lane, and then it cut all the way over to the left-hand side, which is closest to the nursing home, and it did a curve, and then you just heard it. It was like it rounded something, and then you just heard him hammer down, and then it just went from there. And at that point, where the buildings are, I could see the crowd, and as it went in, it's like you never even saw brake lights or anything. I just watched the vehicle just disappear into the crowd.
So he's gone. He's hauling. I mean, he's
unfortunately, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I know my partner had asked earlier something about if you were able to pick this guy out in a lineup or on a photo array or anything like that. Or how do you feel about that?
I feel very comfortable.
Pretty comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you feel like you had a good enough look at him that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Photo arrays are kind of tough. I mean, even if you know who you're looking for, but I mean, that's something you feel pretty confident about?
I do.
Okay. What I'm going to do is we're going to forward this information to the city. We're not sure exactly at this point who's going to be handling what. I'm not sure if the city. So there may be some people that will come back and contact you and maybe follow up, or they may have us follow up. I'm not sure, but I just want to let you know that I'm going to give you my card before I leave. Again, they may have some questions, and they may do a photo right with you? They might not, I'm not sure. Just depends on, I just wanted to get your idea out of 1 out of 10, with 10 being like I can positively identify this guy. What do you feel?
Solid 9.
Solid 9? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, if I could have you sign down here.
Okay.
And it's the 21st. Is there anything you can think of there? No. Okay. And you have the rest of the information, right? Phone number. Okay. Perfect. All right. And the time is, let's see.
It is 11:23 p.m.
Okay. I'm going to put that down on there. Again, I appreciate you speaking with us. I know it's obviously traumatizing to you and your family. But I'm glad that you came forward and said something, and hopefully this will help our case. The fact that Blake saw something too will probably help us too. It's hard. We can get one incident and 3 people see it, and they see it all differently sometimes.
Absolutely, I understand that.
But I'm just glad that you feel confident about your description of this guy.
Yes,
so, okay. All right.
Unfortunately, we're in a terrible spot of having to be here.
Yes.
But I'm definitely glad everyone's okay with you and your family.
I want to turn this off.
Yes, sir.
Good, you? We talk for a shit? Yeah. Are you upstairs, downstairs, or down? You're downstairs? Okay. Yeah, I just was wondering if you guys saw anything.
The people upstairs said they saw stuff.
They did?
Yeah, they gave their report.
Oh, you talked to somebody already?
Yeah.
All right, somebody did.
My primary officer that came.
Okay.
Do you guys want to talk to him?
Wait, Michael.
Did you talk to anybody?
I didn't see anyone.
You didn't see anybody?
No.
Let
Can I
me just
get
gather your name.
Yeah.
And what is your address? Are you,
We're all renting, up and down rent.
so are you lower?
We're lower.
Okay.
So 338 Maple, lower.
Yeah. Lower, yeah.
What's your name?
Colden, K-O-L-D-E-N.
Your middle?
E.
Your last name?
Johnson, J-O-H-N-S-O-N.
Your date of birth?
05/18/2000.
Your telephone number?
262-909-2818.
And you see nothing, you weren't home.
Were
you home?
I was home, yeah. So the people upstairs called me saying, like, oh, there's a car in the driveway, like, we don't know if it's your friend's, it's totaled. So I came out. I told my friend, I was like, hey, is this your car? No. So then that's when we met them outside, and then they all called the cops.
Okay.
There's people in there now. Were those people here, or?
Yeah, everyone's here. We have Friendsgiving at the moment.
Oh, Friendsgiving.
Yeah.
There you go. And no, you guys didn't see anybody pull in? Nobody else that was in here did?
No, no one did. But the people upstairs saw one person leaving, I believe, the vehicle.
All right, we'll just touch base and then make sure they're talked to and go from there.
Sure. Okay. I've got your info. If we need anything from you, we'll be in touch, right?
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
What's their name?
What's
your name?
Carlos and Veronica.
Okay, thank you.
We didn't know what door to knock on.
Did you guys talk to somebody already?
Yeah, we
Law enforcement wise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me take your name.
Just want to make sure we cover all our bases.
But this isn't like any report stuff. I mean, I see you guys are sheriff, right?
Yeah.
But we already got a call from the landowner that there's media trying to get a hold of my mom, and like we're gonna get calls that we really don't want to be like.
You don't have to answer them.
Yeah, I don't know how I don't know how they got my mom's like phone number or like name even because we just talked to a police officer.
That's pretty incredible how fast they get stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're awesome.
Yeah.
So you go by 338 Maple Upper?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's your name?
Carlos.
C-A-R-L-O-S? Middle?
Alfredo.
Your last name?
Arechiga. A-R-E-C-H-I-G-A.
Do you want to eat? No? Your date of birth?
10/19/2001.
A telephone number for you?
262
ma'am, your name? Veronica? Is it V-E-R-N-O-C-I-A?
V-E-R-O-N-I-C-A.
And a middle for you?
No.
No? Okay. Last name? No last name. N-O-L-A-N-O. Okay. Your date of birth? And a phone number for you?
262-888.
Oh, I'm sorry.
2039.
2309?
No,
2039.
2039. See, that's my bad listening. And then,
he's autistic.
He's autistic, yeah.
Okay.
So then you guys, I guess, just so I have the information, what did you guys see?
So, I can go first, I guess. I mean, I'm just gonna go through it so I
Yep.
can like kind of recall everything. When I was at meeting, I kind of sat, I sat here on the chair, and actually from here, and you guys can walk in.
Okay.
From here, you can see like, I checked outside, and because I heard a large thump and like the tires screeching, and when I looked outside, I could like barely see a glimpse of somebody like leaving. At this point, like since it's been like a little bit, I can't like really confirm like. Like anything. I just know for sure I can just recall the color white, maybe from his hoodie, if he had like a white hoodie. And then I recall like just looking at the thump that's over there because our neighbors, the Waukekas, they have like a yard and they have like logs over there. They do a bunch of like wood cutting. And one of them is actually like right here, so I don't know how he possibly cut through this whole thing. Didn't hit any of our cars and ended up here. And I just saw him kind of like getting out of it and like leaving. And I remember going to my mom and then she saw it.
And I probably was already calling him because I saw if you guys.
Yeah, she was on the other end and I was on this
easier
one.
for me to
Okay.
see it. So I was my little boy was sitting down here. I was sitting down here, and then I heard the same he heard. But then I looked through the window and I see the car like right here, and then I see a white male in the 20s.
You saw a white male?
24. And then he was already walking that way. So I sit here, like this, and then while he was turning right around the bushes, he looked back, kind of pulling his pants up, and then he looked up and looked at me in the window, and the son of a bitch smiled at me and kept walking. I didn't know, at this point I didn't know what he did. So he was wearing a kind of like this color sweater and black pants.
Yeah, so a white, do you know if he had a hood or no hood?
He had like a winter hat.
He had a winter hat on?
And a little long hair.
Little longer hair, winter hat.
It's kind of hard for me, like, see his facial features because he was kind of far. And then he started running that way, and then he turned right. And I would keep looking because I thought if he's our neighbor and he hit our car, at this point I thought he hit one of our cars. I didn't see the locks or anything. So I thought he was gonna enter those apartments there, but then my son was walking in, and while I turned, I didn't see where he goes. So I tell my son he probably hit our cars, and he's probably one of our neighbor's friends because
I thought it was
there's a
one
lot
of
of
the neighbors.
young boys downstairs.
Okay. Honestly, it looked like they
So-
ate drinks because I was like, I swear to God, they hit my car. I went downstairs, I called them really quick.
So
and they
he went to his room to get a jacket, so I grabbed my jacket because my door is right here. So I went downstairs right away outside, and I look at the car, and I keep looking to see in case that he,
Comes back or
yeah.
takes a peek out.
And then there was people already coming from the parade, and then one guy told me, I saw him. It was a young man. He said I already called 911. So he's probably one of the first calls from this who saw the vehicle. So he can get a better description because he was right in front when he was running before he turned. So if you guys look for the 911 calls, the first one who saw you, the vehicle was here, he can give you a facial description because he saw him like
So you're saying
right in front. Yeah.
white male or lighter skinned male? Had
It was kind of like my son's color skin.
So he had a
black hair.
Black hair, a little bit longer. It was coming out of the hat.
Like,
And you said he had a winter hat on?
Yeah.
And then a white sweatshirt and black sweatpants.
Well, I mean darker.
Or dark, at least darker.
But he was like walking and running. But
Okay.
I can't forget his smile.
So he had a
especially now that I know what
lighter
he did.
complected. Do you
like
remember
he did
anything?
something so funny. He was kind of like, oh my gosh.
Do you you remember any facial hair, or like if he had a beard or a... Okay.
Kind of like, you know, even though it was day, you still, you know.
Okay.
And, I mean, when you don't know what happened, you don't pay
Well, right,
attention. So, yeah.
All right.
So the one who saw him, and I was hoping that he was filming, is the guy, the one who called 911, because he was right across the street, facing him from, and then he told me he went.
So he went
back to the parking lot on the building, and then when that way he walked to the corner, and he said I saw him keep going. He didn't get in the buildings or around the buildings. He kept going, running, like going like west, towards West Avenue.
Okay, towards West Avenue. So he ran that way, went right, and went towards West Avenue. And you saw just one person?
One person. I don't know if he lose the other people.
Right.
If he got any, I cannot witness that. I just.
But you saw one person for sure.
One person. Okay. And then we walk, but everybody downstairs and us, we didn't know what he did, so we kind of stepped on your kind thing, guys. So we went back, and then we noticed that our neighbor's yard was. But I told my son, the timing is weird because there were people already coming from the parade. They looked scared. So he probably spent time parking on our neighbor's parking lot, and then when he heard police and stuff, he probably tried to escape through here. And he was trying. We can hear that he couldn't, so he just walked.
Okay.
I mean,
so he's trying to get the car going?
No, I mean it sounded like he tried to
rev it up,
and then he couldn't, and then he just
and it just stopped.
And I'm glad he didn't, because there was a lot of people coming and crossing. He could. You know,
Okay. Well, I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then, I don't know, I think I told the other police officer, but I was like one of the first people out there, because I thought, like I said, I thought it was one of the people downstairs, like one of the younger guys. And especially with like the car, and like we usually have like a bunch of other people visiting. I went outside, and I heard a lady, she was like in the balcony over there. She said she saw something. I don't know if it's like worth like talking to her.
I know we got people inside.
There you go. Yeah.
In the building, I think making contact with the residents of that building.
Yeah, I went outside and I heard her from the balcony. She was like, she went that way. I wasn't really looking at her. I was just kind of like looking at the car. I told the guys downstairs, and everybody came out. And
what he's trying to tell you, she was asking the boys downstairs what happened, and after that, she told the officer that, I saw him, he went that way, and blah, blah, blah. So misinformation is not going to help you guys.
Okay.
So, I mean, I see him clearly here. I wish I got I being like teenager, so they, you know, and then you can get a better description, but, oh my gosh.
Well, I appreciate your time, we really do.
Thank you.
We'll,
appreciate you guys,
I know it's going to be a nightmare with the media and everything, but.
Well, we already kicked them back.
Yeah.
So if you want to just close your shades or whatever, you don't have to worry about, anything like that.
And if they get a hold of phone numbers, you're not required to
Yeah,
talk
to
to
answer,
them.
yeah,
You're not
exactly.
required.
No,
You're
my
not
owner
required to
said
answer
that he
the door.
already denied to give my name.
Hold on one second.
Alright, I'm just gonna, sorry, I'm running out of paper here.
Yeah. Are y'all okay?
Yeah, we're alright, man. We're hanging in there.
Yeah.
Alright, can I get your first name is Blake, is that right? B-L-A-K-E?
Yep.
Alright, middle initial?
L.
And your last name?
Kaiser. K-I-S-E-R.
K-I-S-E-R. What's your date of birth?
7/5/1999.
Okay, and that phone number I called you on, is that a good cell phone for you? Okay. So I guess just start with where are you standing at? You're observer of the parade?
Yeah, we were observing.
Okay, where were you guys standing at?
It's like the old courthouse, right in front of the main entrance where the main camera was.
Okay.
Live streaming it.
So like now it's a museum there, right?
Yeah, I think it's a museum. I don't know. It's where they had the live stream camera. Like it's like it's you know where El Palmer is? Yep. It's literally like that place right there next to those apartments.
Okay.
We're in the grass over there.
And then what do you see?
So starting off, I see the red SUV start driving down. He had slowed down at first, and then he sped up, and then I see an officer on foot chasing him.
Okay.
And shortly after that, I'll watch it go down, and then I saw it like kind of dive into the crowd. And at that point, me and my friend Sam ran down there to see if we could help with the injured and everything.
Okay.
So as we're running towards there, I get separated from my friend, and then I hear someone yelling that there's an active shooter after I hear some gunshots.
Okay.
And people start panicking, so I start trying to tell the crowd to calm down, to evacuate this way, let's move, get them out of the area without trampling people. And then I run back to secure my family, and then my friend's family through there. And when I get down there, I jumped over like this little half wall or whatever, and then picked up my kid and grabbed my wife, and started helping people get inside the courthouse area. And once I got them secured, my other buddy came back, so it was 3 of us families. His name's Luke Barnett, sorry. And when he was back, me and him went back to go find our friend Sam.
Okay.
And after we met up with him, we were just surveying the area for any wounded that weren't being attended to. And after we realized everybody was dealt with, we went back to take our families home.
Okay. Did you see that red SUV turn onto Main Street?
I didn't see it turn on.
Okay, so you just see it coming down Main Street going west?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see the occupants of that red SUV?
I saw a white guy in the driver's seat. I don't know. I thought I saw a white man with a beard.
Okay, in the driver's seat?
In the driver's seat.
Okay.
Could you tell what color hair or anything like that?
Brown hair.
Brown hair?
Yeah.
Hairstyle? Long hair, short hair?
I thought I saw him in a hat. I don't know. Kind
Okay.
of foggy.
Okay. Did you see anybody else in the vehicle?
No. At that point, they were already gone.
Okay. So you just see what do you think is a white male?
Yeah.
Dark beard, you said?
Yeah, darker, about your shade.
Okay. How long of a beard?
It's about like right here.
Okay, so couple inches?
Yeah.
Okay.
Older, younger?
He looked about early 30s. Probably
Okay.
what I put him at.
Was the driver's window down at that point, or was it up? Could you tell?
I want to say...
If you're guessing, yeah, we're good.
I don't know.
Okay. Anything relevant about that vehicle that you think would be pertinent to our investigation?
Nah.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, it's just a...
Probably a silly question, but you see a plate on it at all? Anything like that?
No.
No? Okay. All right, well, we appreciate your time. Sorry for bringing you out here in the cold.
No, dude, it's all good. Anything to help.
All right, well, we appreciate it. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family.
Yeah.
All right. All right, thank you.
All that kind of stuff? Sure. All right. And your first name?
Barbara.
Middle initial?
J.
And spell your last name, please.
E, B as in boy, E-R, H-A-R-D-T.
And your birthday?
3/1/65.
And a good address?
2332 North University Drive, Waukeska.
And what's the zip code over there?
53188.
And a good phone number for you.
414-315-4771.
All right. And was it just you two watching the parade together?
No.
You had
no.
a group of other people with you? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What
but
is
they scattered.
They had scattered?
Well, because our kids have marched in that parade for years and years and years and years, and we weren't even going to go up, but then my one friend called because our other friend's daughter was in an Aspire dance, and it was her last one, and Andrea's having a lot of trouble with last. So I'm like, oh, I'll come up, And so we were kind of like up to support her. And then once it happened, Andrea went running down the street to try to find her daughter. My other friend stayed in the window because she had her autistic son with her. I don't even know where Jackie went,
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you able to give me just first and last names of the people that were in there with you?
Sure.
That was in your group?
Sure.
You can start with your husband?
Brian. Well,
Okay.
he wasn't there the one, so he dropped me off and then he went back home to grab a quick shower because he was just going to come up,
Okay. Yep.
So I was ready before him and I'm like, the parade's going to start. So he brought me up and then he came up after,
Okay.
And I was outside, already, whatever. And then I'm like, I should call him and tell him not to bother parking, that it's, crazy down here. And I literally was like running in the door, and he was at the door, like just going, "What?" I just saw a red car go by. What? You know. So.
Okay.
So he wasn't exactly like
there.
Yeah, he was, but not with me at the time.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I apologize. I keep interrupting you,
that's
so I will
fine.
let you.
So
let me know who was with you.
Carrie and Craig Grenfell.
Carrie.
Yep.
And Greg.
Craig.
And how do you spell their last name?
Grunfell.
Okay.
Jackie Dohorst.
With CKIE?
Yes. Dorshorts.
SHORTS?
Yes.
Okay.
Andrea and Cesar Durantes.
How do you spell their last name?
Dorantes.
Just like you would think. Okay.
And that was our group.
Okay.
As far as I can remember.
And where were you guys watching at?
House of Harley. Oh, I keep saying House of Harley. House of Guinness. It's a nice one. Oh, we were right in the plate glass window, like nice and warm. And
you know what's interesting is the couple other interviews I've done so far, they've all been inside too.
Yeah.
Places. I'm like,
well, when we
genius.
had kids, we were always outside.
Yeah.
You know, because you wanted like whatever. But Jesus, that one little girl got missed by such a little, like, by the grace of God.
Yeah. Do you know the address of the House of Guinness offhand?
I don't.
Okay. No
Just
worries.
on Main Street.
All right. So you guys got there a little bit before the parade started.
Yeah, I think I got there about 3:30, maybe 3:45.
Okay. All right. And when you're facing out the House of Guinness and the vehicle is coming down the street, is it coming from the right or the left on your side? All right, so now what I'm gonna have you do is just kind of walk me through. I'm gonna take some notes, but again, recording.
Perfect.
But just walk me through kind of what you saw. I'm gonna try not to stop you and ask any questions and kind of just leave those till the end.
Perfect.
So anything you can recall, and then if I need a little bit more detail somewhere, I'll ask you afterwards, okay?
Perfect. Love the dancing grannies. Me and my girlfriend were laughing. We're like, we're grandmas. We could be in there like, ha, ha, ha. The poor girl was marching her first parade. I just found out that got killed. And, you know, my friend Carrie was like, as she was saying, yeah, but my skirt would be a lot shorter, like laughing. Like out of the corner, I saw this red car coming. And I was like, wow, that sound car. Because, you know, my kids danced in so many parades. And I was like, they're really close because usually there's a gap. And then all of a sudden, I just saw all these people fly up in the air like bowling pins. And literally just stood there going, what the fuck, what the fuck? And then we just ran outside and did what we could, which I'm not trained. So I threw my coat on someone and, you know, like went over by some of the other ladies and asked if I could call anybody or if they needed anything or...
So at the time when the red vehicle came through, what group was in front of you at that point? Was it the dancing grannies?
It was the dancing grannies.
Okay.
Right in front.
You thought that sound car was too close?
Yeah,
Your original thought process.
Yeah, just because, like, why would a car be, like, coming so close? And then, literally, it was almost like slow motion, and then when it hit the people, it was like, holy crap, they're going so fast. Like, when I saw them out of the corner of my eye, I didn't realize how fast they were going. But then as soon as they, like, came into, like, the center of my vision, you just saw, like, how, like, fast he was going.
If you had to estimate how fast you thought he was going at that point, what would you say?
At least 40 miles an hour. I mean, he was going fast. for a city street in a parade. I mean,
So you said it was a red vehicle?
Yes.
Any better description? I know that you've probably seen
no,
stuff online
like
and whatever.
as soon as
but-
I saw it go by, like, I mean, because I only saw the front of it out of the corner of my eye, but as soon as I saw it go by, I was like, that was an SUV. And then someone said, no, it was a red van. And I'm like, okay, maybe it was a red van. You know what I mean? But like when it went flying by, I thought it was an SUV.
Did you see anybody in that vehicle?
I did not.
Could you see how many people were in the vehicle?
I did not.
And I know you said that it sounded, or it looked like people were flying like bowling pins. Estimation of how many people you saw get hit?
At least 3, but I really, like, it sounds terrible, but like my mind, like I've said, it was like people just got hit like bowling pins. Maybe it's because I used to bowl, but like now that's what my head is like. I'm not seeing people flying through the air in my head right now. I'm like literally just seeing like objects in the air, which maybe is
good,
better. Because this is fucking crazy.
And you said you ran outside then and tried to just help where you could.
Mm-hmm. The outpouring of EMTs and nurses, and someone's like, we need someone to do CPR. So I stood up. I'm like, who does CPR? We need someone to do. 2 people came over, said they knew CPR. A nurse came over, said, you know, I'm a nurse. What can I do to help? The guy that was holding the lady's head that I was by said he was an EMT. I mean, it was just crazy how many helpers there were. But I could do not. I mean, I'm not trained, so I just put my jacket down and, you know, went over to help the people that were on the side that were obviously still living.
When the vehicle was coming, and you said it was coming from the left, out of the corner of your eye, right?
Yeah.
Did you see a pattern it was going? Like, what if it was on the
straight.
side of the road more so?
On the far side of the road, so like the house of Guinness is here. It looked like it was on the opposite sidewalk going straight.
On the sidewalk or on the road?
No,
Just
on the
like
road.
close.
On
Okay.
the road, but like, you know, not on the side of the road I was on the other side, but it was on the road.
Did you hear anything? I know you were inside.
Thank
but-
God, no.
No?
Mm-mm.
More specifically, any honking, anything like that?
Nope.
You were able to hear like the bands and stuff as they went
Yes.
by. So do you
Yes.
think you would have been able to hear honking?
Yes.
From a vehicle?
Yes.
Okay.
Because like you could hear, like even though they had their music on inside the bar, like you could still hear. It sounds so terrible watching a parade from a bar, but I mean, you could still like hear the bands. You could hear the music to the dancers. You could hear, you know.
Okay. When you got outside and you said there was a lot of people out there helping, somebody yelled for CPR. Was that for one of the dancing grannies that you're aware of?
It was the EMT that was down by a gal's head, holding her head.
Okay.
He said, we need someone to do CPR. We need someone that knows CPR. It was for one of the dancing grannies, yes.
I know this is going to be kind of blunt and a really crappy question, but did you see any other major injuries besides people just laying in the road, like broken legs, anything like that that you...
No, just the one girl had such a glazed look over her eyes, and the other girl looked like she was... The girl that was on the far side that I'm sure... I don't know. The girl that was on the far side, she just had a very glazed look, and they kind of had her, like, immobilized as well, but she just... I didn't see any broken bones or anything. I just saw the look of people that weren't with it, if that makes any sense.
Okay. You said 2 of the women had the glazed look?
Yeah.
And I have to ask, you weren't injured at all?
No,
during this, okay.
no.
Was there anything else that you remember that you think would be helpful, or?
No. I mean, to me, it just seems so open and shut. And I know you guys have to, like, investigate because it's what you have to do. But
Yeah.
It's just like, I know you're going to talk to a million different people, and it's like, I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. You know, like right away they said, the one that was up front, they said that she's dead, you know, and yeah. And my friend lost her sister lost her husband, so we ran down the street, and then I saw the South van. And my husband saw the kids, like, because he went down further and he saw the kids. He's having a really hard time handling it.
Yeah.
I just want to forget.
Yeah. I get that. Sometimes it is better to talk about it, even if it's with each other or someone else. I know I know all over social media and stuff there's resources, but
Yeah, there are.
Make sure that you take advantage of some of those, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know I'll
And
be
your
okay.
husband too, because I know sometimes it's even harder for the men to do that, but...
Well, he just saw the little kids. He's like, there's nothing I could do. It's like there were people there tending to him, but there was nothing I could do. And I'm like, well, we're not trained that way. I mean, we're fine. We will be fine. Just think of all those people I love.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
And
It's supposed to be so
seeing them.
joyous and...
Oh, it's such a great parade. It really is. It's like way better than the 4th of July, but it's just such a great parade. And, you know, the next day popped up a memory, like, of my daughter marching with Extreme. You know? And it's just like... And at the vigil last night, they had big trucks, and it's like, why? Why? We live in Waukeska.
Right.
So, it's crazy. It's just crazy. I'm sure you've heard worse.
Oh, no. Everybody's recollection is awful in its own way. And
I mean,
I couldn't
strollers
imagine.
tipped over, chairs just left. Like, you grab your kid and you leave your stroller and you go running. Oh my God. Like, I mean, people compare it to a war zone. I'm sure a war zone is far worse. But for a civilian that's never been to war,
Yeah.
it was,
Oh, absolutely.
It
I
was
mean,
crazy. It was just crazy.
One of our supervisors, he was overseas, and he said when he came down here that first night, that's what he equated it to.
Yeah,
was what he saw overseas. So
it was just crazy.
You're definitely accurate in that portion from someone who has seen it.
I just don't understand, why would someone be so, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just say the devil was in our town on Sunday, you know, but I'm not going to let hatred win.
No.
Because that doesn't do anybody any good.
No.
You know.
It doesn't.
And I woke up good this morning, damn it.
Well, hopefully talking
Yeah.
about it, getting a little bit of
Yeah.
it out now, it can just kind of be...
Well, tomorrow I have to go back. Yesterday, I work at a hair salon.
Okay.
And I went in yesterday and I'm like, okay, I'm doing these people on my book and then I'm going home. You know, and tomorrow, day before Thanksgiving, I'll be busy. I just don't want to, I don't want to bury it, but I just don't want to talk about it. It's just like, I
Right.
just feel for those people, and everybody knows somebody, you know, like I did a haircut this morning, which I totally forgot about, and guy I've known for 40 years, but he like is knocking on the door. I'm like, shit, I'm in my pajamas. I'm like, let me change real quick, because I work at a salon and I have a salon at home, but he's just like, yeah, he's like, our neighbor knew the one dancing granny. So out of the 5 people, and there may be more already, but it was the 4 people from the dancing grannies. And then the 5th person was a friend of my girlfriend's. I'm just like, come on, man, you know?
Yeah.
And I know that the children are fighting for their lives. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard one is brain dead. I've heard.
There's a lot going on, and a lot's going to probably change in the next few days.
Yep.
But
Yep. So let's be happy about the holiday.
right. It's
I'm
tough.
sure you see it year round. Like you see awful things.
Yeah, but
all
I
the
mean, there's
time.
just when you think you've seen it all, then the world gets just that much more evil.
Yeah.
And it's tough. It's,
Yep. And like
yeah.
I said, I'm just not going to let evil win. I'm just not. You know.
No, absolutely.
So there's a lot of room. You can get in here. And
Yeah.
We just have to do this. Don't push. File in. Move to
And
the
it
back.
sounded like there was quite a bit of that. I mean, and I understand that I guess initial reaction to just go, but it sounds like there was quite a bit of kind of that trampling kind of thing going on, and so it's just unfortunately part of an event like that something comes up. So, well, as I mentioned before, my name is Special Agent Matt Anderson. I'm with the Wisconsin Department of Justice. Just want to talk to you a little bit about kind of what we discussed on the phone, what you saw, what you heard, and kind of just the initial aftermath of everything. So,
Okay.
but I want to start by just grabbing your contact information. So it's Normand with a D, middle initial,
J.
last name,
Bruce.
and what is your date of birth
8951.
and a current address?
Do you want my address at the store or the address at home?
Your home address, please.
Okay, N41
N41
W
W
27
27
885
885
Ashnala Trail, ISHNALA.
Drive.
Yep.
And that's Waukesha?
That's actually Trail.
Oh, Trail, okay.
And that is Pewaukee.
Okay. And what's the zip code?
53072.
Okay. And what's the store address?
Is 231 West Main Street.
And the zip code for downtown?
Is 53186.
Okay. And a good phone number for you, sir? Is it the one that I called you on?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
262-309-3607.
Okay. And what is the name of that bookstore?
It's Martha Merrill's, MERRELLS, books, toys, gifts, and so much more.
Okay. And so at the time of the parade, it's my understanding that the store was open.
Yeah.
And that was where you were located. Now, did you stay inside of the business the entire length up until the incident?
Yes. We have a front door, and then there's actually a desk that's, a personal desk, not the counter that we do.
Okay.
And there's a chair there, and I was sitting there in that space, which is like probably maybe 6 feet from the door.
Okay. And so you had a view of Main Street from that perspective?
Right.
Okay. And so as you were in that location, kind of watching the parade go by, what caught your attention? What stood out to you as...
Well, there was all of a sudden the big kind of, noise or whatever that you want to call it.
Yeah.
When the hot air balloon goes through and he pulls the thing and everyone goes, oh!
Okay.
And so there was all of a sudden that, but then following that right away was all kinds of people, and I mean, in my mind I was confused a little bit because that's sometimes what happens at the end of the parade when people are just dispersing, but I knew that I knew which bands had already gone through, and I knew that this was a South High School band playing, and I'm going, they're playing, and then all of a sudden there's this big noise, and then there's the quiet, and when I first heard that noise, it really made my attention go to the door, and then people as they're passing by, and then I actually saw the red vehicle that went through, and then I from my spot I could see there was another window that's over here, and I could see the vehicle swerving around the float that was in front.
Okay.
And then when I looked back, I actually could see that there were at least 3 of the students who were laying on the pavement.
So the noise that you described is kind of immediately drawing your attention. Is that crowd noise, or is that a particular noise that you heard? Like,
No,
was
kind of
the crowd reacting to it?
Yeah, the crowd reaction. You know, and then people, you know, I mean, and the screaming and the panic of some of the people that were, you know, just like, I got to get out of the way. You know, they're just, and people were, you know, some people were just picking up their chairs and basically fleeing.
Yeah.
You know, not really knowing exactly what had taken place at that point, but.
So that noise draws your attention. Immediately after that, you start seeing people,
Right.
for lack of better words,
Immediately,
scrambling.
I went to the front door.
Okay.
So, and I, not knowing I had opened the front door and I said, you can come in here, you can come in here. Because I, you know, didn't, and there were some people who were doing that, but the reaction after, people said that there were gunfire, then the panic really set in because no one knowing exactly, and people started really pushing, you know, out the door, and you know, and someone else opened so I have 2 doors that were opened up, and you know, and I was right away going, you know, everybody can get in here. I said, you can't push, you can't shove. People need to keep on moving to the back, because once people first got in, they just kind of wanted to
stay
stand.
right in the front.
You know, and I said, no, you need to move back. You need to move back. Everybody needs to do that. And then 2 people brought in one of the band members that had been hit. He was bleeding from his head, and you know, and they got him inside the store, and they did that because they said there had been gunfire, so they wanted to bring him into. And so we got a chair, and they sat down with him, and they stayed with him.
Was he conscious and
He
breathing?
was conscious, yes, but I mean, you could tell that he was really hurt.
Yeah.
Pretty decently, and the 2 people, you know, who I know didn't know him.
Okay.
Just helped him and stayed with him and calmed him and saying it's going to be okay, and they, you know, put pressure on where the bleeding was. We got paper towels to be able to put that on, you know, and you know, there was multiple bags of paper towels that were used, and but they just stayed there. They talked with him. They got to his, you know, he must have given them his mom's telephone number, whatever they called. Mom finally did come after probably 10-15 minutes. Yeah. And when Mom came in, she was pretty hysterical, you know, seeing him bloody and whatever, you know, and I took her aside just briefly, and I just said, you know, I said, you need to settle yourself down. Your son needs to, you.
Right.
And so she did. Yeah. And that, because I've dealt with some of these kind of things because I'm a retired elementary principal.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So, I mean, it was not like something that...
Sure. So, Norman, after you saw the people scrambling, you opened the door. When you open the door, is that when you're seeing that SUV coming by?
No.
Prior to?
That was prior.
Okay.
Yeah, that was prior before me getting the door open.
Okay. So, from your perspective, you're at the front door, but it's not opened yet. Is that accurate?
Right.
And now we see the vehicle coming from right to left?
Through the door.
Yep.
Yeah. And I would say that from my perspective, I thought that the vehicle probably increased speed as it was going towards the float and went around the float. You know, I think it had somewhat maybe slowed down after hitting all the people that were...
Okay. Do you recall when you were looking out and watching the parade around the time of that noise in the crowd, what float was going past you, or what segment of the parade was going in front of the business?
Yeah, it was the high school band was just like, I think the color guard had just gone by.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it was like right where the first instruments were playing.
Gotcha. So right as the band is starting to pass your restaurant is when this all transpires. Okay. And so the vehicles, you're seeing this through the door. As the vehicle passes from right to left that you're seeing, you see that it swerves near a float that would have been in
Right.
front of the band.
Which would have been down in front of the antique store on the right, probably about the middle of their doors where they would get in, where you would enter. And, you know, and I saw the vehicle swerve to the left and go around, you know, the float.
Okay. Did you see the SUV actually striking people?
No, I did not.
And how would you describe the vehicle?
All I could tell you was it was a red, and it wasn't a car. It was you know, an SUV or something,
Okay.
you know, a little bigger, because it stood out over the top of other people. I mean,
And did you see into the vehicle at all? Did you see anybody
No.
inside? Okay.
No, it was just a very kind of like scanned view that was
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah, kind of over the tops of the head of the crowd is what you're
right,
seeing it go
right.
past.
Just kind of, and then as I looked out the other, you know, I mean, I could see the vehicle, you know, then swerving around.
Okay. As people were kind of scattering, I'd
Yeah.
imagine you could finally
Yeah.
see through the gaps
And because of, you know, Gaspar was a closed street, there was a lot of people that were just
Going
going
down
up
that
the
way.
street, yeah.
Okay. So when the vehicle swerved like that to avoid the float, you think that that was near the antique shop?
Yeah, it was in front of the antique shop.
Okay. And after, or as this is transpiring, I'd imagine that after you see the vehicle by, is that when you open the door then?
I went right away up to the front, and then
Yep.
as people were, you know, not knowing what happened,
Sure.
yes, I went opened the door.
Okay.
I
After
stood
you
in-
saw it pass?
Right.
Okay. And then people are starting to flow in. You had mentioned a band member that had come in. Any other injured individuals that came into your store?
There were a number of people who were in shock.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a band member that was like, she was completely dazed, you know, she was
Yeah.
going like, the only thing I heard her say was, you know, that my friend was right next to me and they're laying out there, you know.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, she was rather hysterical, but we were able to get her to the back.
Yeah.
Then there was all the gathering of all the people from South High School, from the band, and some of the parents, and then finally I just said to, you know, and I'm like, bring them in here. And
Yeah.
I said, you can go to my balcony area.
Yeah.
And so that's, you know, so there was probably, I don't know, 25, 30 of
Sure.
them that went up there, and the parents were able to be with them, but at least they were being dealt with kind of separately. There was a lot of young families that had, you know,
Yeah.
2 or 3 kids that were, you know, under 5 with strollers and whatever. And we got them in with their wagons and whatever, and
Okay.
went further into the store.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of those young kids, I don't think even were basically traumatized as much,
Right.
because they got to the one corner of my store that had all the stuffed animals,
there you
and they
go.
started pulling it.
Yeah, that's
they were sitting there playing, and I mean, they were there for a good hour
Yeah.
and a half.
Yeah.
You know, before they were getting, you know, and I kept on talking with the officers who were outside,
Yeah.
and I said, you know, people are parked on the other side, tell us when, you know, and they
Mhm.
finally came and escorted those families over
Yeah.
to where their parked vehicles were.
Do you recall which float was in front of the band, by chance?
No, I don't.
Okay. Okay. Does your bookstore have any surveillance
No.
footage that would have captured anything?
No.
Okay. Did you personally capture any videos or images? Okay.
My whole concern was helping
Oh,
the people
absolutely,
that-
and I appreciate that.
You know, and it was like saying, no, this isn't something I'm going to pull out my camera and try to capture.
It's interesting in today's day and age that sometimes that is the first initial
Right.
response is
Well,
to
because it's like, well, I can, if I
yeah.
catch something, I, you
Yeah.
know, could be quite the famous person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not, you know,
Well-
I mean, I look at it and say, I guess out of all of this, what I did see was people immediately not worrying about themselves and
Right.
going out and huddling around
Yeah.
the people that were laying
In
there
need,
on the
yeah.
pavement.
And I was just going to say, I appreciate the fact that, you know, you catered your attention to the people that needed it. We'll recover whatever we can as far as terms of videos and pictures, but the people that needed the attention, I'm glad that there were people like you out there giving them that attention. Is there anything else that stands out to you or think that I should know in regards to the incident, or other things that you witnessed that maybe we didn't cover?
No, there was, the trauma became, really real for,
Yeah.
when I can remember a Hispanic dad who came in, who, started, people started coming in and shouting out names to see if their child was there.
Yeah.
And, and they're going like, they shouted out the name, and we would shout the name out into the store.
To see if
they
they
get,
would.
but this dad, just, his eyes were just filled with tears.
Yeah. And Norman, even just with talking with individuals from various perspectives of this, there's definitely some trauma that occurred by a lot of people, and I'm sure even residually for you to a certain extent, just having experienced
the other day when, yesterday when I was at the working out, and the television thing about in the court, and then when it was announced, that a child had passed away, as an elementary principal,
that hits close,
and it was like going, you're sad that all those other individuals, that but you're going like, here's a young life that got snuffed out.
That was there to see Santa Claus.
Yeah, that was, and that was some of the things that we heard from kids who were in the store beforehand, because they were out there for 2 or 3 hours.
Right.
They came in and used our bathrooms, whatever, and they're going like, I'm here to see Santa. I haven't seen Santa in 2 years. I'm here to see it.
Yeah, just a lot of emotions tied up in this. At this time of year, this type of event. I recently talked to a high school student that saw more than he needed to see, and you could just tell it's going to be something that doesn't just go away. And so, as a community, I'm grateful that the community has already, become strong and be there to support each other. But that's going to be necessary for, I think, quite a while. Just with.
It's a typical, I guess, Waukeska response when I saw, videos that show, here are people who are injured, and they've got 3, 4, 5 people,
who don't
not knowing exactly what happened, but they're going like, it's not about me, it's about helping somebody who I see in need. And I think that is part of the narrative that continues to need to go forward.
Yeah, and I'm sure some of those lives were probably saved, if not, significantly impacted by that response. And so.
And then you have, I think it's a miracle that so far there hasn't been one of the South band members that has been listed as fatality.
Yeah.
Because they laid there on the pavement, and they were motionless.
Yeah.
And people were attending, but you could tell there was no response to them.
Right.
And then, the aftermath here of, like, how many people are going to have broken limbs and broken legs and pelvises and whatever, and their recovery is going to be long.
It's larger than life. Yeah. Well, I give kudos to you, business owners such as yourself, and people that are willing to open their store and their hearts to the community. And like I said, I'm sure that process will be necessary for quite some time, and hopefully that healing can start to occur, but it might take some time. So I appreciate you coming in today. Is there any other information that you think that I should include? Otherwise, we'll memorialize your observations, and if there's anything else that comes up, we'll reach out to you, but I don't anticipate that being the case.
No, I think of the incident itself.
Sure.
We did stay open until almost midnight because there were so many personnel down there.
Right.
There's no bathrooms on that end of town.
Oh, that's a good point.
So we made coffee and cookies and stuff.
Well,
like
thank
that
you for doing that.
So it was like, and I sympathize because I know all of those people were traumatized by the same kind of thing. I'm thinking about if I was an officer and saying, there's nothing I could do to protect the people that I was supposed to be protecting.
Every level carries some type of trauma, and it's sad. Any way you look at it, I guess you can't make it look any better or sound any better because it's a tragedy. But I appreciate you coming in today, Norman, and All right. So as I mentioned, Special Agent Matt Anderson with the Department of Justice, just to show you I'm legit here and not just a telemarketer telling you your car's extended warranty is up.
Okay.
So I just want to chat with you briefly just about that, I guess, interaction, I'll call it, through Lyft with the individual here. So just to be clear, you weren't at the parade?
I was not, no.
Okay, so you didn't see anything at the parade or anything
No.
like that? The only knowledge that you have pertaining to this situation is through
Yeah.
that, I guess, Lyft
Right. I mean, I was
request.
I was in the area, but I wasn't physically at the parade.
Gotcha. So let's start with this. It's Anthony. What's the middle initial?
E.
Winters.
Yep.
Date of birth for you?
5/17/1980.
Okay. And a current address?
It's 2850 North Hartung. That's Hartung Avenue.
And is that in Waukesha?
That's Milwaukee.
Oh, okay. Zip code?
53210.
53210. And a phone number for you, sir?
414-232-4238.
4238.
Yep.
All right. So driving for Lyft.
Yes, sir.
Is that something that you do regularly, occasionally?
Occasionally, weekends.
Okay. Weekends primarily?
Yep.
Okay. And what type of vehicle do you drive?
I drive a 2018 Dodge Charger.
What color is that?
White.
Okay. And so, then this was Sunday that this took place, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So Sunday, what time do you think you started working? Are you able to track that on there?
Yep, I am able to
Okay.
track it. I was just going to pull that up. I hate that they take away the messages that they leave after you're done with your rides. But
Oh, okay.
but they keep that stuff on file, I'm pretty sure.
Sure.
Sunday was what? Oh, let me go previous week. And here's Sunday. So Sunday, I began at 3:25.
3:25 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. And how many, I guess, fares did you have?
That day?
Yep.
11.
11. And what time did that request come in? Do you recall?
That request came in to me at 4:57. Well, I'm sorry. I accepted at 5:15 and 29 seconds.
Accept came in at 5:15.
Yep.
20.
Yep.
Correct? Okay. And so were those 11 fares prior to that, or were those just throughout the day?
Throughout the day. There was 2 prior fares to that.
Okay. And so that particular request, that was through the mobile app. Now, does it have a profile associated with who requested it,
Yep.
or so? Can we review that, or what that looks
So
like?
it won't let me see that anymore because I
Okay.
can't see people's information anymore. So it'll say passenger unavailable.
Okay.
But I just remember the name said Dawn.
Dawn.
Yeah, but there was no profile picture.
Okay. So DAWN.
Yeah.
No profile picture. Was there any other, I guess, identifying information involved with that profile that would pop up or would show you?
I did look at the address, to the drop-off address.
Yep.
And it was, I don't remember the addition. I just know it was 19th Street in Milwaukee.
19th Street in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else about the request?
So when I get there,
And where were they when they requested the ride? Sorry.
Oh, so the pickup spot was 550 Maple. I don't know if it's Drive or Street out here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a company there that starts with an A. I can't remember the actual name of it, but I
Okay.
did actually start looking at this stuff when I was like, wait, that's weird.
Yeah.
But there's a company, there's a parking lot, and there were several police officers along, I don't know if that's Maple there,
Okay.
but there were several police officers along the street. So I was in the parking lot at this, because I'm thinking whoever I'm picking up, they got to be at this company. That's the address
Yeah.
I was given.
Okay. So you were physically in the parking lot waiting?
Yeah, and there was no other cars in that parking lot. There was nothing, honestly. There was actually, there was a cop car at the entrance of it, but that was it.
Okay. So you're waiting there.
Yeah, so I was waiting, and when I get there, I like to send people a message saying like, I'm in the white Charger. That's the message that's programmed into the phone already. I'm in the white Dodge Charger.
Yep.
And I got a message back saying, okay, you're looking for a black skinny guy with dreadlocks.
So I'm in a white Charger is an auto message sent to him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then response to that was what?
You're looking for a black skinny guy with dreadlocks.
Okay.
So I waited maybe 2 or 3 more minutes because there's like a 5-minute grace period.
Yep.
So I waited like 2 or 3 more minutes and nothing was going. I was like, and I sent another message like, well, where is he? And the response I got back was, do you not see him? And I responded, no. And then the response I got back from that was, okay, let me call him back. His phone is dead. He called me from someone else's phone.
Let me call him back. His phone is dead. He called.
Yeah, from someone else's phone. So that's what, like, when the video surfaced, that's what made my antennas go, oh, wait. You know, because there was a block and a half away.
So when you were waiting for that 2 or 3 minutes after you got that response that you're looking for a black skinny guy with dreadlocks,
Mm-hmm.
and then you sent them a message after that 2 to 3 minutes, do you recall what that message was?
My message after that was, I think I sent the message saying something to the effects of, okay, there's no one coming. And there was a follow-up message that said,
do you not see him?
Yeah, well, no, there's another follow-up message after that said, well, I don't know what to tell you.
So it said, do you not see him? I don't know what to tell you?
No, the first one said, do you not see him? But then I sent another message asking, like, where is he?
Yep, no, where is he?
Yeah, and then I want to say she, but Dawn could be a he.
And then they replied and said, let me call him back?
Yeah.
And then what was after
and
that?
then they said, I don't know what to tell you.
So you didn't respond after, let me call him back, his phone is dead, he called from somebody else's phone?
Yeah, I'm sorry. My response again after that was, where is he?
Okay. And then they responded back and said, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Or something along those
lines. Yeah. Basically, I guess they couldn't get in touch with him.
Okay. So what happened after that?
I got out my car. I went to the doors of this company because I don't know what the company even is. And honest to God, in my head, I'm thinking I'm picking up a kid.
Sure.
And I'm like, maybe because outside in the parking lot there's a basketball court. I'm thinking, well, maybe there's a kid and they're playing basketball or something, and she's trying to call her kid, you know.
Yep.
But so I got up and I knocked on the door closest to the parking lot.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No answer.
Yeah, no answer. Then I went over to the next door of this company, knocked on that door. Or no, there's a buzzer. I rang that buzzer. No answer. After that point, I got back in my car, canceled the ride.
Okay.
Because now I'm probably like, I've been there for like 8 or 9 minutes or so.
Okay. Any other follow-up communication on the app about the ride, or after it was canceled, was there any message received from the requester?
No, I never got anything else from him, and I just, it was just weird because I knew there was tons of a parade because I had to go around the parade with my prior Lyft person.
Yeah.
So I knew there was a parade, but I knew there was a lot of cop present around, but I never knew what was going on. But then I have a niece that goes to Carroll. So I called my sister because she bowls for Carroll, and they go away and then they come back on Sundays and they have to meet at the school.
Oh.
So I called my sister and I'm like, hey, if y'all haven't got here yet, it's like hard trying to get even around Carroll College. There's a lot of police. I don't know what happened. But I guess they had already made it, and then my sister said that they had got a message saying there was an active shooting.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Sure.
Like, I'm thinking to myself, because I'm not a dummy, I'm like, that's weird. There's an active shooting. Here I am waiting in a strange parking lot for someone. So, who I don't, So once I picked up my next person, it was a young lady who's not even from Milwaukee, and I had to take her downtown Milwaukee. Because my purpose was, I'm going back to Milwaukee. I put the filter on my app to say, who's ever going, if you're going to Milwaukee, cool, I'm going that way.
Yep.
The next lady I picked up, our whole conversation down was like, what if this is that person? Because I didn't know what happened. Then, because no one saw pictures or anything until the following day.
Yeah.
And then here it is, a black guy with dreadlocks. And I'm like, holy shit.
Sure.
And then I still didn't think it was the same person until I think like the next day there was the video of him on someone's porch trying to use their phone to call his Uber.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this lines up way too, with what was going on. So I'm like, whoever this other person was that requested for him, I don't even know if they knew what was going on,
Right.
But they were trying to get him a ride.
Yeah. Okay, so and I saw that the fare, it's $4.04 was what was charged to the account?
Yep. Because once I canceled, the fact that I accepted it and I got to that, I traveled there, they still have to pay for a cancellation. Yep. But you can see what time I even canceled it.
What time does it say?
It says no show at 5:33:13.
So, accept was requested, or the fare was accepted at 5:15.
Mm-hmm. And then I had to travel the 1.6 miles from where I was.
And then it was rejected or declined at 5:33.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you mind if I just scroll?
No,
through
you
this
can go
real
ahead.
quick?
Yeah. I think when I spoke to whomever I spoke to yesterday, I was saying like the conversations that happen, like I said, they go away. I can't see them anymore.
Yeah.
I wish they like saved somewhere in it. But I was like, I'm pretty sure Lyft has the conversations.
Yep.
They
okay.
keep them.
So with that being said, Anthony, I appreciate the information. We're kind of just funneling everything that we have now. I'm sure there'll probably be some follow-up regarding getting access to that log, whatever that looks like.
Okay.
And hopefully we'd be able to do that with your consent. And I don't know how that works. If you basically request that, if they'd even give it to you as a driver, I'd imagine they would, but basically there's going to be some more dialogue regarding that Lyft request.
Okay.
If the PD or whoever wants to, I'm sure they could write a subpoena to Lyft, but if they can do it through consent, I'd imagine that they would do it that way. So there might be a follow-up conversation with you about that. I'll memorialize kind of the information that we talked about today.
Mm-hmm.
And see where they want to go with it. So
yeah, sure, I'm willing to help out because that's not. I don't think anything that happened was cool.
It's
a lot of
I'm sure you've seen kind of the news and being from the area, at least you're familiar with kind of the pulse of what's going on. And just a sad event on so many levels. I mean, so many people are affected by this. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily those that just were struck by the vehicle, but. That witnessed it. That even on the news, it's a bad situation all the way around. So I appreciate coming in and at least sharing the information that you have. So just to get this accurate, you had 2 fares prior to that request. That request fulfilled 1. So then we had 8 others.
Yep.
So 8 after the incident.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait. 9, 10. Did I count a streak? 8. Yep, 8. I counted a streak.
Okay, 8 after. 2 before, 8 after.
Yep.
Okay. Any other information that you have?
No, that's it. Yeah.
When you got out of the car to go knock on the doors, did you see anybody that could have, that you were like, hey, are you?
Nope, there was nobody around. There was, I'm in the parking lot, like I said, cops on the street, residents who were in their, like, driveways.
Yeah.
That's it, you know.
Sure. And you said that the company starts with an A and it's on Maple Street,
Yeah,
550 Maple Street.
Yeah, I kind of looked it up yesterday because I was like, this can't be. Like, because I kind of saw where the address where say you guys found the car, and I'm like, this can't seriously be like the same ordeal. And let me see. And I kind of looked it up yesterday, and I was like, oh man, that's kind of weird. Oh wait, let me see. I'll take a picture because me and one of my coworkers were both looking at it because he had a friend that was actually there.
Oh.
And that was in the hospital, so I was like, man, look at this. This is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can see what here, there's the name of the company right there. Oh, is it not Maple Street? Was that Elizabeth Street?
Elizabeth Street.
Maple Street probably was the street you guys were, I don't know. But yeah, that's the name of the company, whatever.
Harry's Industries. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I was.
Okay.
So I was just like, man, this can't be, because how close was it? And this, yeah, so you guys were on Maple. Like, that's
gotcha.
where you found the car.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, that's way too close for comfort.
550 Elizabeth Street, Aries Industries is where you waited. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else that you think we should know or add, or
No.
I guess being a user of Lyft, anything that would be additional on there that you can think of? I mean, Dawn's profile obviously would have the information of who the account subscriber is and all that, but you can't see any of that on your end.
Nope. I tried to like look through and just to see if I can like.
Is there any way to see what the last four of the credit card is that they use, or is not even that?
I can't even see that.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Okay. So just to get that conversation right, auto sent. I'm in a white Charger, looking for a black skinny guy with dreadlocks. You wait a period of time. You say there's nobody coming, or I don't see anybody, and then the person says, well, you don't see them, and then you said no. Where is he? And this is more or less.
Mm-hmm.
And then that person said, let me call him back and see if his phone is dead. He called from somebody else's phone. And then you respond and say, is he around, or where is he? And then they say, I don't know what to tell you.
Right. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony. Well, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem.
And like I said, there might be somebody that follows up with you in regards to the Lyft account and getting more information. So appreciate you being willing to come in today and help us out even further down the road. So I'll walk you back downstairs so you know where we're going.
And I guess I should start by, are you okay? I mean,
Yes.
did you get injured?
I was not injured.
You're not injured? Okay, good. Okay, your full name is?
Beth Ann Nowak, N-O-W-A-K.
Okay, and your date of birth?
8/14/69.
And your current address?
800 Riverwalk Drive, apartment 207.
It's in Waukeska?
Waukeska.
What's the zip code there?
53188.
I apologize, but we're not from this area.
No, that's okay.
So, all right. So, and your phone number? I know my boss has it, but.
It's 608
Mm-hmm.
444 2550.
550. Okay. Yeah. All right. So the main questions they wanted us to ask was, well, first of all, you're not injured. I asked you that already. Did you have any kids or anything with you?
No.
No. Okay. And they were, so obviously nobody was injured there. Would you consider yourself a witness or a victim?
Witness.
Witness. Okay. And what did you see? What were your observations?
I heard boom, boom, turned. I was at the west end of the parade on
Okay.
Main Street. Turned to look east on Main and saw a red SUV with significant front end damage flying down the far right-hand side of the road. My first thought was he's going too fast for the curve.
Okay.
And I turned and put my hands out and started yelling, "Get out of the street, get off the road, get out of the street." And I was directly in front of the Catholic Memorial football team.
Okay.
And I didn't even get to say like one full sentence of "get out of the street," and he
Went right by you.
went right by me. I ran to the first of there were 4 casualties in our immediate area. I ran to the first one.
Okay.
And immediately started to
Provide
assess patient,
help.
provide
Okay.
aid, and stayed with patient. She was stable and conscious and talking.
So that first injury, did you see how it happened? Did he hit her directly?
I
or-
did not.
Okay. Do you remember if it was a white female, white male? What was it?
Hispanic female.
Hispanic female?
I know her name, date of birth, and allergies if you need them. And her
You do?
son's name, who was also injured. So.
Okay, what was the person's name?
Marisol Lopez Gutierrez.
You have one heck of a memory.
Oh, 11/2/78.
Okay.
Penicillin allergy. Her son's name was Adair.
A-D-E-R?
I think it's I'm not sure. ADAIR, I would.
We'll figure it out later.
Yep.
So Adair Lopez?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because he said, when I said, "What's your mother's last, what's your last name?" He said, "Do you want mine or my mom's?" So her husband's name is Rodolfo. There were actually 2 people that attended that were first on site with that patient. It was a bilingual female and her husband. She was the one that got her phone, called the husband, told him where we were so he could find us, but then she got a call saying that her son, who was in the marching band, had been injured.
Oh.
And he was at Martha Merrill's bookstore. And so she left, and then once another nurse who I knew came, and the 2 of us were providing care, then he left.
When he left, okay.
So, and then we
So
stayed.
Rodolfo wasn't injured then?
Rodolfo was not even
No,
there.
they weren't even there. The only 2 that were there were Marisol and Adair. Do you remember what Adair's date of birth was?
I do not know. I know he's 10.
10 years old? Okay. Where exactly did you say you were standing?
I was just west of Planned Parenthood on Main Street.
Okay. And when you saw the vehicle coming, do you believe that he was trying to avoid people? Was he swerving around, or do you think he was aiming at people? What your honest opinion?
By the time he got to where we were, he was clearly attempting to avoid people. He was as far right on the road as he could be.
So you think he just basically ran out of space?
I cannot make that determination. I cannot speak to.
Did you see the guy driving the vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw him.
Does it fit? What description would you give of him? So does it fit the description of the subject they've been showing on TV?
Yes.
So a black male with.
I saw the face, the hair, the scruffy, both hands on the steering wheel, nobody else in the car.
Nobody else. So if I would have to show you a picture of him, you'd recognize him.
I would have recognized him
Yeah.
without it being on television, yes.
Do you remember, and I know it happened super fast.
Yeah.
Do you remember what he was wearing?
No.
How about his hair?
Yeah, the dark hair, I couldn't tell if it was dreads or if it was, but it was not like well kept. It was and the scruffy black facial hair.
So you would say maybe long hair, you just couldn't describe what kind of long hair?
Right.
Okay. And scruffy face.
Correct.
And just to be clear, scruffy face, I mean, he
Yeah,
had some facial hair.
Yeah, the black
Okay.
facial hair is what I saw
Okay.
in his hair.
All right. Is there anything else? Who were you there to watch? Were you associated with any groups like Extreme Dance or the Waukeska Blazers?
No, I live right on the river, not even a quarter mile from the parade route, and I'd gone for a run, and then it's typical as to
You
I
just
just
stopped
walked
and
the route.
watched.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I was doing.
That's what most people would do.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. Is there anything else that you think that, well, first of all, did you take any film?
I did not.
You didn't take any pictures either?
Nope, never looked at my watch, never took pictures.
Okay.
Nothing.
Is there anything that you think it's important for us to know about the incident that we didn't ask you or that I didn't ask you?
No.
No?
Thank you, yeah.
Okay. So I'm not sure whether the prosecution will need you at all regarding this. I mean, right now we are, I don't know how many witnesses we are, but well over 100.
Yeah, I would say there's going to be.
So, I'm not sure who the prosecutor will choose to move forward with on this, but expect that somebody will call you at some point and at least kind of let you know, yes, we'll need you, no, we're not going to need you, thank you for your help, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for doing this.
So are you doing okay though?
I
You
am.
got a little emotional
I
there
am.
when you started talking about,
Yeah.
the people and stuff, so.
Well, I am lucky enough to have a strong support system, and I have a background in,
Mhm.
so I'm in surgery, so I'm
Okay.
used to seeing people's insides on the outsides, and blood doesn't bother me, and I worry more
It's a little
about-
traumatic though when they
Yeah,
usually
it's
happen, right?
traumatic for
Yeah.
everybody. Yesterday was a really rough day. Today was
Yeah.
much better. So hopefully we can help support all the people in the community that don't see this kind of thing on the
Mhm.
on a regular basis, or even injured humans. And
Right. No, I hear you. Oh, by the way, where do you work?
I work for Aurora, West Dallas.
And what did you say your position was?
I'm an ambulatory surgical nurse.
That sounds like an exciting job.
I run the 5 clinics for one of the general surgeons with West Dallas.
Ah,
in one
okay.
hospital, yeah.
How many years have you been doing that for?
I've been there 3 years.
3 years? Okay. All right, I don't have anything else.
Okay.
So, again, unless you can think of something, I think we're good to go.
Okay.
All right, Elise, did I forget something?
Was the car speeding up or slowing down? That's the only thing. Was the
Oh, yeah.
speed.
I did not notice that his speed changed. He was already going super fast.
Okay. So to be clear, you didn't notice a speed change because he was already going at a very high rate of speed?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, Elise. I can't understand the handwriting.
I know, it's a little sloppy on there.
They gave us a list
I
of...
say, everybody take a picture of this. You're like,
Well, that's what we
doesn't
did.
matter, can't read it.
So we were leaving the room and she took a picture of it and I'm like reading, I'm like, what the heck does that say?
Yeah.
It's like a doctor wrote it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just went by experience, but I'm glad she remembered that question, so. All right, well, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you
It was a
both.
pleasure meeting you and I'm sorry it's under these circumstances.
I agree.
And the time is 2:44. All right, you wanna walk her down with me?
Yeah. Yes, I don't know if that door is supposed to be on.
That one's yours or mine?
Yours.
Oh, I need that. Oh, yeah, I need that. Thank you, thank you. Guide her left, yeah.
She might go harder than I do.
So you go by Jean, right?
Yeah, that's fine, Courtney.
How do you say your last name?
Samazek. S-Z-Y-M-A-S-Z-E-K. Samazek, yeah.
And is this your current address on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Wales. A security, how do you call him? An officer is going down the street saying, did you see it? And the guy next to me didn't see it, so okay, if I could offer something.
Yeah.
It was so surreal. It's like if you ever went to Orlando, they had that different parks where they show you how to make movies, they got hydraulic things, and so like from here maybe to the water fountain, whatever across the street is, as it came, it was just starting to hurt people at this point. It was on the curb, like where the people were standing at one set of wheels. And I see him. In fact, he looks exactly like the guy in the pictures that you see. And it's like, it's like right in front of you. You're just like, whoa, and, you could see this car was like an angle almost. And then it's accelerating through these people and people are scattering. It's just like something in the movies,
Yeah.
It's like, and I could just see all these kids, that everybody's screaming. And of course the parents, here's what you didn't know. the parade, there was people in the street in the parade, and then we're waiting for Santa Claus down there, so you're all looking. The bad side is the parade is going one way, they were coming from the back end.
Right.
So people didn't see ahead of them, And then
Yeah.
you had the music playing and people are talking, and you didn't hear all this stuff. And so right where we were the start, and the guy said it's accelerating, after he hits all these. I thought he would stop, because you have these wave of people kind of getting out of the way, and then you didn't know if there was more cars. You didn't know if there was gunfire, because all this other crap that's going on. All these things race to your head really quick because of the terrorism and whatnot. Like maybe there's more cars coming, and so people are grabbing their kids. It's amazing. You never used to think that way.
Right.
Like when the first 9/11 happened, the people were saying, "Oh, we'll probably get kidnapped and go to Cuba," or something. They didn't think it's an airplane ride.
Yeah.
They didn't think any. Oh, yeah, sort of kidnapped. We'll go someday.
Right.
Come into the plane. But in Israel, they would know they've done this before. If there was going to be takeover, they'd be doing something to take over the plane because they've been used to that. Now they would get, do something, now just the mentality of our, like what's your first reaction? And that's the same thing with the Rittenhouse thing, okay, just shot somebody. He's a shooter. Let's go get him, Oh, that's self-defense. No, he just shot somebody. Like the mentality is if you try to stop them, and then the jury says, no, but you didn't follow the law.
Right.
That's the difference. And the whole crap at the end, what was really nice is you probably saw the last 2 days of trial, they finally got the drone video.
Okay.
They had the FBI plane. That was okay, but it was, so many feet up. But then they had a drone that was really good. And you would see everything, and he zoomed in. Well, the defendant said, we're not sure if you could enlarge that legally, like to zoom in. Well, you could, but then they had, a $9,000, testify or say, well, you can't do that legally. You missed something. No, you could see it. Then the judge said, well, I took the video home, I couldn't see it. Judge, let's get on this 4K. So they literally got him off the bench, or the pedestal, and they put him in front of a television set right there and said, now watch it. Oh, and the jury got to see it. But you could see that something was going on before this guy started chasing him. And they said they put down the extinguisher, and he could have flashed the gun. You could kind of see that he did. And that was the whole thing, whether he put something down and maybe this guy thought he just flashed the gun at him. There's little details. And then the guy that got his arm blown off, they said, well, he put the gun out, yeah. But the thing is, Rittenhouse fired his gun, it jammed or something, and he re-racked it. Then the guy says, I walked 2 feet towards him. Well, they missed that whole thing in the trial. Rittenhouse tried to shoot him first. And then they said, well, you had your gun out. Well, after they blew his arm out, his gun was pointing towards him, and that's the picture they used. It's just like, and people all over the country. I mean, my daughter just came back from California. They're pissed, and my buddies in Carolina, the whole country seen the whole trial. And Wisconsin looks stupid. I'm sorry. Today, like somebody said, our legislative people should be, up until he fired the shot, that could be corrected, and then after that, the gun nuts are going to have a problem. They won't let anything change. If a kid could be walking down the street with something,
Yeah.
I'm ranting.
That's okay.
You know what's terrible? Okay, if I have a gun in a holster, and you're cool with that, right? Now, if I have a rifle, I'm hunting like this, or I have a double-barreled shotgun, it's open, so, you can see that it's open. I could drape it on my arm while I'm pheasant hunting. And, but now I got this AR-15. Can I put it on the shoulder like, a soldier, carry it? There's no holster for it, so you got to carry it like this, right? So it's cool, right? Because, you're holding the gun. Now, I got my finger on it. Now, what if I take my gun out of a pistol out of a holster, and now I'm holding my pistol like this? Well, I'm ducking. I'm running away from you.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between this and my finger's not on the trigger, or I got the AR-15 like this? No, well, that's different. No, I'm still crapping in my pants. I'm running. Because, you know what I'm saying? But all of a sudden, No, you violated something that's,
Yeah, human nature.
and if I walked into a bank or something, I had my pistol. Well, it's it's concealed. It means open carry. Yeah, no. Anyway, this is where we're standing.
So
okay?
here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start. Can I get your phone number quick?
262-96. No, my home number. Let's do my cell number 262-370-0370.
370. Okay, and were you in town for the parade?
I was going to be in the parade. I was waiting for some group to come by.
Okay.
So I had just gotten, and this is exactly where I was at.
Okay.
So you have it.
You were supposed to be in the parade.
Yeah, so I was waiting for my group to come, and they're usually at the end of the group. So I was going to join my group of Democrats. So I was with the Democratic group.
Okay.
But they ended up being the front of the parade this year.
Oh, boy.
So I missed, they were already done. So I was watching the parade. So I was right, 2 or 3 people. And I usually take pictures, but I was enjoying the parade.
Which is good.
The saddest part was the dancing grannies. They were a class act. I mean,
Yeah.
I was really impressed when they came through, and these women were just neat. I mean, it was just like I've seen a lot of things, but these women had class. They were walking, they dressed up nice, they had all lit up and stuff. And the
Aw.
one that was really bubbling, the one that was shot. My daughter's friend sent a picture of that. I saw her because she was a couple feet from me, and it was impressive. This young gal, she was just so excited to be out there.
Aww.
And
So
yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. You were on Main Street
You can
at
keep
the
that,
at the intersection of Gaspar, or you were
I was
Gaspar?
on Main Street looking south.
South, okay.
So I have it there south. You put Gaspar Street because that's about where the first. And I'll show you this. This is where the first injuries occurred.
Okay.
That is the intersection looking south.
Okay.
So this is like a little bit further south.
Did you take these pictures?
Yeah, I took those.
Okay.
These are from my camera. I just
Okay.
enlarged. I just figured
Nope,
you
I
have.
appreciate
You
it.
keep them. And so I should have put down Gaspar, but in Main
It
Street.
says it up here.
No, you may have to, you could write that down, and since it's funny, you say Gaspar and Maine, Gaspar and Maine.
Okay.
Looking south. See, you could do the same thing. That's the same thing. I took one picture, and then I said, "Boy, there's one more person there, to take."
So this was afterwards.
This is done, and there were obviously people were attending because there were so many people that were medical that were there with their kids. It's like, oh my gosh. And then I walked down. This is just an example on Main Street, maybe half a block down. You could just say on Main Street, walking west. Yeah. Just to show, there was somebody attending to each one, and I don't have any medical, and people were coming, running, and stuff like that. Then as I kept walking, I had taken video, which I'll show you, and then this is like People's Park, that intersection there, and there was some people, and they were putting people on gurneys or things, and they're giving chest pumps, and you knew that there was a problem, because they're doing a little bit, before the ambulance could put any kind of gear on them.
Okay.
There were people in this street maybe half an hour that were, didn't even have a board underneath them. They were there that long, because it's 30, 40. And then after it went down from People's Farm Park, then I just had to take one. There was just two things. This is just maybe towards Wisconsin Avenue, so it's like between People's Park and Wisconsin Avenue. There's like two groups of people. And what I was doing video walking back, because I was amazed. You didn't think that anything was going on after that, and you go a little farther and 5 corners, and then you go farther. Holy crap, and it got worse and worse. So you got towards the end, Wisconsin would turn. I could stand in one spot, and there was like 9, not bodies, but people on the streets. And when I got to one area, which I'll show you, is that I got down towards the parade ended here, and so the last bodies were over in this area.
Okay.
They were coming in. The emergency people were coming in both sides and here.
Where did you see the first bodies when you started walking?
That's right here. That's the first picture. So right here.
Okay.
Right here.
Right there.
And then that's that first picture.
Okay,
Right.
so did you see the incident happen?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, as you're standing there watching the parade, and the vehicle is coming from this way, perfect. Don't want to put words in your mouth. So the vehicle's coming from this way, going this way. What do you see? Like, what do you see when it's coming? Like, what do you realize? That type of thing.
The parade is here. There's just a float that just was kind of going by, and there's a lot of people walking, in the parade.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was looking down to the next, I was looking forward because there was a float coming with big flames coming out. So you were paying attention to what's going down there.
Okay.
All of a sudden, literally by the time you focus, like literally right in front of me, I'm seeing the side of this SUV, a red one. I could see the guy, he's got his windows down. I could see him. He looked just like the guy in the picture. He had a beard, dark hair. If he was darker complexion, he just said, he wasn't white, but he wasn't black either. So he was just a slight tan complexion. And I could see him as people were screaming, and getting out of the way. And the fact that he was jumped the curb, and the noises you hear was apparently people being hit or hitting stuff, like chairs and whatnot. They were all over the place. And then all of a sudden you could hear him, and this is at 30 miles an hour, so what do you see at that particular time? And it didn't, and then he accelerated, to go down the street.
Do you know what group was in front of you at that time?
I know it was after, no. I know what, looking at other people's video, I see, I saw that one, I saw that one, I saw that one. No, I couldn't honestly tell, maybe I might see, no, maybe, it might be something later. There's a float coming up in the video, so I could show you something. People scattered. And then, finally the police says, just get out of here. People were grabbing their kids, and like I said, they were thinking that there was gunshots. They were thinking that, they were thinking all sorts of, crazy things. And people holding their kids' eyes so they wouldn't see anything. And I'm hoping that a lot of the kids were sitting, because some people, you weren't supposed to throw candy, but they were throwing candy.
Mm-hmm.
And, the kids were lower, so they might not have seen everything.
Right.
Even if I watched it, I didn't see people flying, although people were moving so fast, Yeah, so I don't know how much terror would be other than all the screams that the kids would remember.
Yeah.
And I guess there's a couple of kids then in Children's Hospital that have brain stuff. So, and they've already raised $800,000 is now, just before I came here. So I got my money to go to donate, and those kids are going to need some help for the rest of their lives. The ones that got hurt. So it's just it's sad because of that.
So you saw the red SUV. Was there anything that you noticed about it? I know you said the windows were down.
The windows were down. I noticed the driver. It was one driver.
Okay.
When you focused on that for how long it stopped, somehow it seemed like they paused him a bit, and you would think that he was going to stop, like maybe hit a post or something. But no, it just kept on going. It's like.
So did he pause or he didn't pause?
No, the pause might have been, it couldn't have stopped. He just kept moving. It's just that maybe my eyes focused on him at that particular time. There might have been a slight delay or something after he hit something. There was everybody had chairs, and so when they scattered, it's like he was on a curve. Like, why did I see his car clearly, and why did I see the whole side of him? And, I know it had a little bit of an angle, not enough. I could see him driving. And, it's that surreal feeling that, it's like this is not. At first you thought it was, could have been part of a unique thing that they did for the parade, something to scare the kids. Or, we're smiling, but, you don't know.
Right.
What they're thinking about. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. What side of the road was he on when he was coming down?
So at that time, he was on the other side of the road. So I'm standing on the north side, and he was on the south side. So if you give me a picture, the first one maybe, yeah. So as he was, he was plowing, he was on that, so this is the sidewalk here, the street. So he was on the half of the sidewalk going that way.
Okay. So half of his, you thinking like 2 of his tires were up on the sidewalk?
Yeah, I could see more of the car, And looking at it farther from bits and pieces, he was avoiding people. Didn't think of it. Sometimes, I'm thinking if he wanted to get out of it, it's like a bowling alley. If you were trying to escape, there was no way to get out. Except to go forward. That was probably the clearest path, which is a shame.
So you felt like he was trying to avoid hitting people?
At that particular time, I could say there's people. There wasn't a float in the street because I could see right in front of me there wasn't.
Right.
But there was a float that just passed by of some type, and so it would be like he was trying to avoid the float to get around the float. That's why he kind of did the thing on the sidewalk. Yeah, that's I'm thinking of. And as I was looking at other pictures, he was trying to avoid, I don't think he was trying to aim for any person, but he's trying to escape or I don't know what the heck he's thinking about. They'll know after the.
So what do you remember seeing? Because you said you're also looking at pictures, and obviously doing this interview, I'm aware that there's been a ton of videos put out there. There's been a ton of pictures on social media. So if you take all of that stuff out and pretend that you hadn't seen any of that, what do you feel he was doing when you saw him? Did you feel like he was avoiding the float at that time? Did you feel like he was avoiding people? Did you feel like he was aiming towards people? Just when you first saw him that day. It looks like he was trying to get by. He was just trying to get around that float to keep going down the street. Get around the float. Okay. Did you hear any honking? Was he honking his horn? Was there any yelling? Obviously not from other people.
People at that time were starting to scream.
People were screaming.
So the only noise I heard, the only thing I could conjecture is the noise of him hitting people.
Okay.
That could have been body blows.
So you didn't hear
you're hearing
honking?
Some noise. No, get out of my way. And supposedly a block or two before that time, the police started chasing him. I don't know if they were chasing him at the time.
Okay, you didn't see any police chasing him, though, that you remember?
No, as I can put things together, there would have been if he was doing this thing, what I saw on the TV, there was a police car chasing pretty soon. So after everything settled at that particular time, then it was amazing that since it was kind of towards the Barstow, there was almost immediately there was a fire truck there and an ambulance, or people came out and started picking up these people at this end, so they were ready to go. And that's why I said this is where it started, for injuries at least.
Okay. Do you recall any specific injuries you saw, or any of the specific people you saw? Or were you just seeing bodies and that was in mass chaos?
Yes. In each case, there was somebody by each of the people that were injured. 2 or 3 people, and there were people with blankets and comforting things, and, I'm in the way because you're waiting for somebody. The support services, the emergency people were outstanding, for this. It's a real credit to what's going on, because there was like 30, 40 ambulances at the end. I'll just say, and I'll step back a minute. When I was leaving, so a half hour, 45 minutes later, I was by the firehouse. There's a fire station down here, a block or two. There was still an ambulance there with 2 guys ready to go in case there was an accident someplace else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, not everything goes here.
Yeah.
It's just, they were, and you can see they wanted to do something, but they were waiting. Just in case, something else may happen where you're ready. And there were people waiting. After a while, there was like 30 or 40 ambulances that were there. A lot of people took the little kids, took them to the hospital on their own. We didn't know, at that time. And it was interesting that just talking to a couple people in the street, they already knew before I even left. My girlfriend's over at Summit Hospital, and so many people are there. It's amazing how everybody knew everything, even while they're on the street, as it happens, But the police, as many people as are there, they all seem to know what to do. you know, it's like they're talking, listening, or whatever.
Good.
And it was so cute. Like it was a little girl they had at the end. She was at one of the stores or one of the real estate people place, and maybe she was in a chair, and they literally had this chair on wheels, and they just pushed the gal into the ambulance. You know, it's just to help this little girl and stuff. It's a shame because a car would come, and I guess little kids, they take the full impact, whereas adults would fly over a car. But an SUV is higher. I don't think that the impact would be different with that.
Yeah. I saw you were getting ready to show the video.
It would be to your advantage to see it, so you would see what was going on. Because when you see videos, you don't see any of what's going on. You know, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So let me see what I could come up with here. And I'm short of space, but I'll show you a couple clips. I'll show both of you the clips, so we'll get to the position here. Okay, so this is all right. Let me get between you or something.
Yep. Do you want to roll? You want to roll behind us there?
Yeah.
Perfect.
You've done this. You guys are younger than I am. So the program here, all right. So this will be the first clip. Let's see what I got here, and then. This is that corner. This is where you started. Okay, 1, 2, 3. There's a policeman coming. There's another one down there. And like that was the view that I saw. You see a policeman coming, but there's something going on down there. And it was super windy.
Yeah.
Remember. Right. But the police were right there. I mean, they're just unbelievable. You know, they cut off the parade. You see the officers were there. There's no EMTs yet. And this is after the police say you got to move on. Well, I go to my car, so you stayed on the street.
Where did you go?
Okay, I have another one right after this. It's a minute 57 seconds. They did get a gurney out there. You can see the couple of people you have a picture of. They're just starting to pick them up. But people are screaming for their kids or their mother because they didn't know where people were.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you heard screaming here. All right, now let's go to the next one here. Just a minute. Come on. All right, so then I'll do this one's a little longer. Now, yeah, I'm just a little further down the street.
So you're walking west right now.
I'm walking west, yes.
Okay.
That's the float that was still there. So I was behind the Burgess float.
Okay.
It was Burgess, because they stopped. So whoever was behind the Burgess float is where I saw that person. And you can see all the chairs, people just screw it, we're out of here, you know, because they left.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a bomb scene. This is like the first block.
Yeah.
And so this is the 6 corners or 5 corners spot. This is one there and maybe one here. And again, now people are getting gathered. These people, there's no gurneys, there's no boards underneath, and the people's there trying to comfort them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what kind of injuries, but they're surely not moving. And I'm not quite sure if there's two people there or one, so.
Is Aubrey okay?
But you're seeing the police, you're seeing people with the yellow jackets. There were a number of them on the street, probably checking out to see what's critical, what's not. And then all of a sudden, squads were coming from all over town, you know, parking their cars. The guys are jumping out of the cars. You know, the police are to be available. I think there's one ambulance that just came into that intersection.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure how many people are behind that on the other side of the car. But you can see the cars in the parade are still there.
Yep.
And screaming, you know, really, especially mothers looking for their little ones. The fire department, when they did come with the lights, it really was nice that they were able to add, you know, some kind of you can see a gurney there. And that's what I want to say. There are people with backpacks on them, the AMTs that just came out of nowhere, you know, just laying on the streets. And where did they come from? It's like, you know, like Ghostbusters, they're there, you know. When I'm getting to this intersection, then squads were coming up, you know, just add more officers, so they're being pulled from all over the city. I'm sure that's what it was. But there's guys carrying, you know, bags of stuff, you know, that, again, they're probably people that were trained and they know where to get them, or they get them off the fire truck or something when that fire truck stopped there.
Yeah.
Now this is just the first block. Okay, we're going to keep going here a little bit. Now apparently there wasn't a lot of injury in this area here, you know, so whatever parade thing, you know, and this satisfies, when I watched something on TV, there was an area where he was swerving, missing everybody, you know, in that area. So let me go to the next one here. Come on. You see I'm short of memory here. You've been there.
Oh, yeah.
Now here I'm walking towards People's Park, or halfway the hotel, and then I'm walking. I got on the other side of the street now. You can. You're okay.
Here,
All
I
right.
can see.
And here is where I think there's some fatalities occurred in this area, because this is where you'll see they're doing compression on some people, and you know I think this is where maybe the dancing grannies were. I'm not sure. But here you see the firefighters were there, and they were wrestling with how to transfer that person from the street to the gurney. They were really wrestling with that. And then you'll see right when they're done, then there'll be a guy while the person's on the bed who will give some compressions. So you can see that there's a problem with that person. You know. But you see them giving compressions right there. They're trying to keep the person alive. I'm just assuming that. And so I don't know how many were in that area, but at this time there was some emergency people that are here. And then this is further on is where the most damaged people from that intersection, that direction. And that's when somebody said, you know, give it a rest, you shouldn't be videotaping this, you know, you'll see this in a minute. Because when I left, where the guy told me to stop, and about 20 minutes later they put yellow tape around it, which meant that somebody was a crime scene at that time. So there was one person there, like, And, okay. So you can see one here and then one there. And then there'll be a pool of blood in one area. And you couldn't offer any help. Everybody was tending to everybody at this time. And like, my jaw's dropping, like I'm walking down, like, hello, did this all happen? Here. And this is the scene where something really serious happened also, so. And there were firefighters there, so you could see the coats that they had on. And everybody was respectful. Nobody, everybody kept walking. And at this time, there's blood, from that particular scene. And this guy says, give it a rest. So then I put it in my pocket to respect his decision. So then I walked a little bit within my pocket. So I left the sound on. Because it defeated his sense of helping, people gawking. So I just put it to the side. And this will be over in a couple seconds, and then I'll show you the last clip. Okay. And then I think I got one more. This will be a short one. I could show you some of the other ones. There might be two of them there. This one was. This is about a block away from People's Park, down that street. There's two groups here, and then there'll be one little clip after this one. There's a storefront here, something, that I was trying to stay out of the way, is what I was trying to do. Mm-hmm. And then one more. This is, there's a couple more. Just let's see what they got. This is new for me. Let's see what happens here.
We're in here. Thank you.
Yeah, this is that store. There's a kind of a real estate. They should have cars in here or something. I was just looking far away, trying to stay away from everybody, And you have a picture of this. One of the pictures is this area with that. Hang on, two more real short ones here. It looks like here, 33. This one was neat. The officer came up right with his car, squad car, and they opened the doors, and we're going to put this guy in my car, and I'm going to take him in the squad car. Even though the fire trucks were here and the lights were on, and there wasn't enough room so they got a blanket, and they're just carrying him in a blanket, him or her, and throwing him in the back seat. That's what everybody was doing right there. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, this is what we're going to do. And they did it. No fanfare. Let's get these people to the hospital. And I guess Waukeska Hospital had like 20-something people there that had come in. Now this one, I went back to People's Park. I was kind of walking that way to come over, and this was was just a sense of cars everywhere. I'm looking, every direction, here, there. I mean, this place was lit up, in terms of volunteers. The stuff was all over the place. Now you see memorials there today. And right when I was there, Heartland Police were there, and they got something out of their car, shared it with this person, It was just such a cooperation with all the local departments,
Yeah.
And you could see that I guess they have what they call, the rest is I have an audio for 10 minutes, but no video. I just have something in my pocket. But it was like, in the pictures, that I had, let's see if I gave you kind of the idea pictures, that we had. Let's see if I had that, where, it's really hard to see, let's see if I could do this here. In fact, I don't even know if this says anything. No, this is at the before or after. And then I have the time stamps on there, which is everything.
Would you be willing to email those to me?
I gotta, if I could figure out, I don't mind doing that. I was gonna try to edit or put them together A, B, C, D, and then, to reduce it down so they could transmit correctly, you gotta tell me what software to use. That's the problem that I have.
Okay.
Because, people have, what is it, Facebook or, the Twitter accounts, you can put things in and load them in and it reduces it, but I end up having too big a file when I do mine. So
Okay.
I talk to my daughter or if you have some idea of how to transmit it.
Well, how about this? I'll give you a card, and if you need, my email is on here.
Yeah, if I could figure out how to do it, I could do it. Huh?
Correct. Here, I'll give you that. Do you have an email address, a good email address?
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Sure.
Let's
I
see
have
here.
I have one that's a Gmail for here. If you want to do a Gmail, that would go into this phone. Then I could transmit better rather than go into my computer. So it'd be 4 letters. No, GSZY SZY 12 at gmail.com.
So what I might do is I might send you a secure link. So it's called ShareFile.
Yeah.
So I can send you an email with this link in it, and if you click on the link, then you can just upload all of your things right into that, and it'll come directly back to me.
All right, so if I if they're on the phone.
Yep.
If I have this clip on, how do I get it from? Now you saw it from my gallery. Okay?
Yep.
So how would I then connect it to your? How would
So
you physically do that?
There's a possibility you might be able to do it if you check your email on your phone. You might be able to go with that link right there, and where it says upload, then you'll just pick them from right here.
So it'd be like an attachment. I could
Correct.
do that.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how big it is.
Nope. In the link that I'll send you, it doesn't matter how big. It'll just take a little bit of time for you to upload it, but it doesn't matter how big
I
it
can
is.
do that. Okay.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Then I have
definitely-
it, and then okay. Now I don't throw it this way.
Yep. So that should be good. And you don't mind if I keep these,
They're
correct?
yours. No, I
Okay,
wanna
perfect.
help if I
And
can.
I appreciate that.
I think just seeing this, you would not see this from anybody. Just like the devastation or what was going on.
Absolutely.
And it gives you, for you, if you're going to be investigating this, it would just kind of help you. All right, it's about 3 blocks, and there's probably timestamp, but you kind of got an idea.
Yeah.
In most cases, there was nobody. I mean, there wasn't enough ambulances, and you're watching people. Those little surfboards that they carry around. They're shuttling back and forth. But the professionalism of everybody was just outstanding.
That's great.
I mean, just to be part of the Wisconsin or this group, it was really nice. And I heard that nobody was screaming or yelling or do this or you're not doing that right. Everybody just click. They practiced this, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But when you heard the thing when they had the first 9/11 call with the dispatcher, he's screaming, code 52. 52 is, all 5 fire stations have to get going and come here. But when you hear the term 52, everybody's supposed to stop, and you're supposed to stop what you're doing and get involved. So they don't use that unless there's a problem, So they were
Right.
putting things together. But they have more video like this, more graphic stuff of it, but they can't show it on TV because it freaks everybody out.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be getting pieces
Oh
of it.
yeah, we've been getting some of those.
Have you?
That's why we're kind of meeting with everybody, because the stuff that's going on TV or the stuff that can't be shown on TV, we want those original ones too. So we're asking.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's people physically taking the video and you could get that.
Yeah, but this is great too, and I really appreciate you coming down to talk to us,
Well,
take the time out.
I'm glad because you could not describe it with pictures what happened
Yeah.
at the end. And then, people looking and how long, you could see just walking down, those people were sitting in the street for quite some time.
Yeah, absolutely, they
and,
were.
And nobody was freaking out or panicky or,
No, it looks like even the community just really came together. Everyone came together to help, which was wonderful.
Now, are you a state agent? Is that
I
what
am.
you are?
Yep.
And then how much of a state agency is part of this building that?
None. So we're actually out of our Milwaukee field office. So
Okay.
the Department of Justice, we have 5 field offices for our Division of Criminal Investigation throughout the state.
So then you're attached to Milwaukee. in a
Correct.
sense. But you have
Yep.
an office here?
No, so we're just here helping out. We're helping Waukeska out with a lot of interviews because there's a lot of people to talk to.
Like I said, people choked up. Then they said don't watch it too much because they'll remind you of something, right?
Yep. So make sure you're taking care of yourself too, okay? You saw a lot of. That's right. That's right. We'll wait for the elevator here, and then you get to go on with your day.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Towards the end, because I have people, it's too much to just sit there and take a video.
Absolutely.
Just had to watch it and take it all in. And but I could see, we're thinking about, like, after World War II, when the soldiers came back, how did they deal with their pressure? They all became alcoholics. And now you got 23 soldiers or a day committing suicide. So then you're saying, okay, well, they brainwash you, and the military, like, we want you to kill that person.
Right.
For years they get you brainwashed. And then now you're out to society that you can brainwash. You want unbrainwash you.
Yeah.
So when I was watching the Rittenhouse trial, and one of the stations, channel 4-3, they had court TV, and they had the other cameras in there. So I'm watching about a day and a half, and in between the breaks and during the time or whatever, I'm looking at these talking heads, critiquing. And I says, I just saw that for a couple hours, and a day and a half I realized I was being brainwashed. So you had the Fox News or Newsmax or something like that. Holy mackerel, just listen to them. I can see why, if you're not paying attention and you're watching media, and now, here's a good one now, they're buying out the papers in Wisconsin, the Journal, the Racine, Kenosha, and the Lacrosse. The company's buying them out. They bought Chicago Tribune. So they'll get rid of all the newscasts. Our papers in the future will be just like they do one feature story and then just stuff. Yeah, half-night cruise or something. And that'll be our news. And what are you going to watch on video? And all this garbage that we have on social media. We're really going to be earnings of what's going on. It's kind of spooky because we used to count on different papers, different editorials and stuff, and they're going to be gone. Like 2 years ago, there were 70,000 news people in the country, and then within 2 years, down to 30, and it's going to go less than that. So, like, who's going to be at the State House? Who's going to be here looking? It's not going to be doing. How do you know what's true and what's not true?
Yeah, you don't get all the versions. You just get certain people's opinions.
The version. And all the media, like if I watch MSNBC, Comcast on that, so then you can never see anything about the internet laws or something else to be ridiculous. And then CNN has certain things that can, even they kind of tell you everything that they're not, because they have political sponsors, CNN and that. And then, then with all the distrust, and they distrust government.
Oh, yeah.
I was a teacher for 40 years, so then all of a sudden at 10, teachers are bad, any public person. They're trying to keep you where we're going.
Absolutely. Thank you. It was nice meeting you, sir. Bye.